Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, or whatever time zone it is, whether you in the world. It is your Lord and Saviour, with episode 2, session 2 of our Werewolf the Apocalypse Revised Edition Chronicle campaign thing, Rage Across New York. And I didn't mention this in the previous episode purely because I had expected things to look a bit nice on screen, but thanks to your lovely feedback, I don't have to do any of that because you just want to see the raw footage as and when. I've got the chat going up down the side now, so you'll be able to get some inkling of the absolute shitfuckery that is the mental state of the chat in the Law by Night Discord server. And if you want to come and watch these games live, by all means join the Law by Night Discord server and be absolutely goated if you could do that. So yeah, I'm not going to mention who is who because if you tune in last time, you'll know who is who, and I don't think that experience is necessary. So yeah, heatwave might pick up wind noises and things, but whatever. Yeah, let's get a crack-a-lacking. We're carrying off where we went on last time, where our four lovely Garou went through their first changes. They became shape-shifting destructive werewolves for the first time. Some of those experiences were confusing, many of which were traumatic, and for some it was a totally mind-blowing experience. But one thing I can say with confidence is that it was all very life-changing. And where we had left off, the group were coming together for the first time for their Rite of Passage, where they would be inducted or introduced or made a part of the Garou Nation proper, members of the Sept of the Green, which basically is taking up the entirety of Central Park in New York City. But I actually want to rewind a little bit because there's been quite a bit of time jumps around that we had in the previous session. I actually want to find out a little bit to see what everybody would have been up to in that month or two since they've all been brought into this new Karen, this new Sept. And as I remember now, I have to make a little amendment. I can't remember which character asked about the time of year with their first change, but I made a point saying it was like late May, early July. Sorry, late May, early June. I was actually thinking about this session, so it was actually a bit earlier in that point. So we're now in like the early, middle May period. But coming back to what I was saying, I would actually like to find out a bit more about what everybody was doing in that time because they've been stuck here for a month or two in Central Park, learning how to sleep it out rough. Some probably got a bit more experience than others because some of our cast here are wolves, some of them are they're all part wolf, some of them have been used to been sleeping in rather warm buildings. And even though as hot and as humid as I imagine New York would be, I think sleeping out in the open is a completely different experience. So, let us start with our country gal, Dolly, Shadow
All
Lord,
right.
Homid, Galliard, who was brought here, well, discovered, I suppose, because a woman from a shared past, an Egyptian looking woman by the name of Salma, who would introduce herself at points by something known as a deed name, who would refer to herself as Chills the Dead. A little ominous. She shares the same auspice as you, so she is Galliard, which means that they had their first change underneath a gibbous moon, so mostly full but not quite there yet. I might make that mistake a bit further on because unfortunately I still have some of the Banes of 5th edition in my mind where they changed it for seemingly no reason. Salma has taken you around Central. You've all wandered around Central Park various times now for different lessons, tutorials, this, that, and the other. And Salma's experiences with you teach you the ways of the Galliard, that you are essentially bards and storytellers, remembering the tales of the fallen brothers and sisters and everything else in between, using those lessons as teaching points to the Sept and the nation as a whole. And Salma has often made a point of almost treating the sessions you would have together as sort of a therapy. What would you be willing to share her about your time at home and what became of your uncle?
I think she'd actually be quite guarded around that and give pretty vague answers, at least for a
Hmm.
little while, because she does not know Salma at all. And after everything that's happened, I don't necessarily think she was raised in an environment where she was allowed to speak her mind without consequences. So it would depend on the question asked, but she just might go, "Yeah, I grew up in rural Oklahoma."
Hmm.
Yeah. Just like vague responses like that, not really giving too much detail. Like Sama would have to kind of sink her teeth in and really get to the nitty gritty to get any kind of meaningful response out of Dolly.
That's fair. And I don't think that she would, just because she would expect you to find your own footing. Expect that to flow naturally, knowing it's a sensitive subject, knowing that she knows that your uncle not wanting to provoke or cause more damage that's already been done. Which can't be the same, I suppose, with somebody else who you were introduced to. During one of these little conversations, you're sitting around a bench and you are both approached by a man in a black suit with the top button undone. He's wearing sunglasses, mostly bald, but some hair that he has is pulled painfully tight with a ponytail behind. And he sort of like walks in front. He looks like some weird ancient, like the missing cast member of Men in Black or something. Sama sighs when she sees him. She leans towards you and she'll say, "This one's for you. You'll be expected to leave any moment now." And the man walks forward and she'll smile painfully. "Zachary, long time no see, I suppose." And he'll look up and down on you. You're not too sure what his face is saying, as most of his eyes is covered up, but he doesn't look too pleased. A little stern, mayhap. "And you must be Molly."
I'm just gonna look at him for a second and go, um, it's Dolly.
"Dolly. Right." He extends a hand. "My name's Zachary Ellison. I'm like you, Shadow Lord. I think we should have a little chat about what's to be expected of you."
I'll go ahead and take the extended hand, give it a good grasp, and give it a solid couple of shakes before letting go.
Hmm. He has a firm grip. Like, if he gripped any tighter, it would be uncomfortable. Not a good shaker. Probably a good 5 out of 10 experience. You release hands. He puts them in his pocket. You put them for wherever they feel comfortable for you. He looks off to the side. "You mind accompanying me on a little stroll?"
Not at all. And I'll stand up and kind of brush my pants off of any debris that might be on them.
Mm-hmm. He walks slowly, not to walk ahead of you. Doesn't really establish much eye contact. He's mainly looking forward. He removes his hands from his pockets when you catch up with him and he puts them behind his back, his fingers locked into each other. "I have to say, I'm rather surprised that somebody of your sort was chosen by Grandfather Thunder."
I offer him a non-committal shrug.
"Yes, of course. It wouldn't mean much to you right now. But you'll see, in time. Well, assuming that you succeed with your rite of passage with whoever or whatever Guy will present to you. And he'll look over to you and he'll give you a little small smile. You're not too. It looks uncomfortable. You're not too sure whether he finds smiling itself uncomfortable or whether he's doing it because he's forcing the kindness in front of you. Tell me, what comes to mind when I say the words Shadow Lord?
Dolly is going to contemplate that for a moment, take her time really absorbing what he just asked. And after a moment, she'll meet his gaze once more and then she'll answer. "Well, it's kind of in the name. There's authority in that name, but not being overt kind of seems like the point."
Can I have you roll for me perception and expression?
Sure. Standard difficulty?
Difficulty 5.
All right. That'll be 2 successes.
Just shy of the number I was hoping for, but you feel there's a slight change in the air as you say that. Perhaps a shift in approval. He turns away to look forward. There's some women joggers who run past. They're just chatting away about something that their husbands or kids have done. Just usual things. There's some kids that run about. Might be able to hear some music in the distance. Probably more of that really offensive Chinese music you hear every so often from one of the supposed Sept members. Yes, it's a good start. I'm glad that Chills the Dead hasn't been too wasteful in her education. But yes, in time you'll see that we are a very authoritative lot. And discretion, subtlety, is how we work best. Now, I'm not of the same moon sign as you. I'm what's known as a philodox, which means that my first change was under the... He pauses for a second as if he expected you to answer like it's a quiz, but then he follows through with the half moon, law, and order. So I'm not well versed about what it means, what your sign will mean for you. But one thing is for certain is that as a storyteller is not just to recount what we have done well, but recount what has not done so well. To keep track of the mistakes. Use history to remind allies of their failures. Keeps them sharp. And it subtly humiliates your rivals. His smile changes there. You feel there is a sense of joy as those words leave his venomous mouth. I suspect people are going to underestimate you, as I just did a moment ago. Great for gathering intelligence, wonderful for controlling the narrative. And if I was you, I would learn the litany like the back of your hand and use it to dissect your opponents.
I'll just offer him a curt nod, not really giving much away.
He smiles and he nods. As you carry on walking for a little bit, learning a bit here and there, not much. He's not much of a conversationalist, unless of course he's exercising the sound of his own voice. We are going to move a little bit elsewhere, somewhere in more secluded territory. Bit of a thicket, shall we say. We're going to jump around a little bit with the perspectives, brief summaries and whatnot, as we move to our lupus spawn, our children of Gaia, our rune, Ezra. Now, we spoke a little bit about this privately, about your education, shall we say, because the fiction within Werewolf the Apocalypse is a wee bit on the flippant side about the actual learning process, about communication, walking, talking. You kind of got the walking thing down on the way to your new home. How are you finding this new life of yours, being part human, looking a little bit like those who would feed you, occasionally play with you, the ones that you ate not too long ago?
At the moment, it feels different, a bit uncomfortable, but also right at the same time. Like my body fits what's going on in my head for the first time.
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting way of putting that. As with any Garou who goes through their first change, they stop aging at the rate that they were born at. And now it just feels everything is almost just slotting into place as you move about life at your own pace. There you go, nice recovery. Now, you've been here a little bit longer, maybe a month or so, and you have been learning about people, Garou cultures, and what's expected of you as something known as an Arun. your first change happened under the full moon, learning that there are these different phases of the moon and how they mean and represent something. How, when you are eventually put into a pack, you'll be expected to lead, to make those important decisions that will put your pack in life and death. And your education has been split between two members of this sept. The first of which was the Garou that you encountered the first time you moved down here, Spotlight, who you would learn is called a Red Talon. He shares the same moon sign as you. And seeing him in daylight does not make his features look any more attractive. He's still got that very rugged, uncomfortable serial killer look to him, which of course I don't think your character would know remotely what that means. I don't know, this is New York, so you might have picked that up pretty quickly. Sideburns, messy short hair, raggedy clothes. Spotlight makes it very clear that he does not like you. Whether that's his part of his demeanour, but he seems to be very standoffish with you. Like, practicing hunting techniques and coordination. He doesn't seem like a very happy person in general. The other individual that you have been interacting a lot with is almost the complete flip side of Spotlight. This is a much larger, as in broader, very muscular, arms covered in ink that you're told are called tattoos. Hairy arms, a thick white beard, a bit of white hair on top. And his face, like Spotlight, looked a little bit on the grumpy side of things, but you feel a shift in the change there for how he treats you. His name is Gunnar Hroffelson, or you find the fact that name's a bit difficult for your tongue to pronounce, so he refers to himself as Stonewall. He is something known as a Fenrir, and other people have referred to him as Geta Fenris. Apparently they're the same thing. He keeps calling your moon sign a Modi, and it's something to do with a god of wrath. And it's just this weird cultural stuff that's just going over your head. Clearly this education side of things is important to him. And again, he is firm, making a fighter out of you, teaching you how to use weapons and using your hands both in your Krynos form, both in your Homid form. But with him, there is a clear difference between Spotlight, who you're half concerned wants to kill you, and Stonewall is like pushing you to be at your best. And I'm wondering what you feel about being pushed and bossed around like this by these two characters. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Stonewall, like Spotlight and yourself, are both lupus as well. So I'm curious what you feel about interacting this way with two wolves, not of your pack. Just how does that feel for you?
It is a bit of a, not harsh, but something of an awakening where Ezra was, to use somewhat outdated terms, the alpha of her pack. So she was just kind of used to having that level of authority and trust, and being around others who very much do not treat her in that same way is, at first, it is a little discomforting. But I do think she recognizes that as they have more experience, they're, in this specific place, they are the authority. And that for now it is best to keep their advice and hold my tongue.
Yes, that Homid side of knowing when to speak up, when not to speak up, but also the lupus side of you. That sort of primal urge, pun not intended, to understand the social dynamics of sin with your own kin. Yes, it must be something of a culture shock for sure. And their different approaches as well. And I'm sure with time we'll see how these feelings will not just reflect upon you, but the rest of the pack as a whole. We move across again to a more familiar site that we explored in our previous session, that of Turtle Pond, where for one individual the pretty large cultural shock in many different senses would be suddenly thrust upon them, where not too long ago they may or may not have partaken in edible donuts. You, Nadia, have been pretty much stuck to Pond Skater's side the entire time. He has very rarely let you out of his sight. For one reason or another, he seems very keen just for you to observe and feel everything, teaching you to be more in tune with the earth. A couple of times he's gotten you up at the crack of sparrow to participate in Tai Chi. You in the early hours do not work very well together. Yeah, it's been a very interesting experience, especially when he's had to go off and do his little side hustle of being an offensive orientalist performer for the tourists. You've probably been here a lot less than everybody else here, perhaps a month or so, a few weeks. He has revealed to you that part of what you saw in your weird, trippy vision was the umbrascape of the penumbra, the closest side of the Umbra, the spiritual realm of Central Park, that the mice that you saw on the top of the pond were representations of one of the two totems found within the Sept of the Green, the Great White Mouse. That's just how the energies manifest itself in this instance. Would you ask him about the other part, regarding the wolf and the chains and the weird battlements happening around you, or are you just too weird that he's just going to be very weirded out by this?
You know, if it was anybody else, I'd be very concerned about that. I think she introduces it with, alright, I'm going to ask you a question. But when I ask this, I'm going to ask you, please don't tell anybody else this, because it's fucking weird. And yes, she does.
Okay. He sits and ponders a little bit, like running his fingers across his wooden staff. And I will confirm the third eye thing you saw in the dream. He very much has a third eye that you have seen on occasion, most of which is covered over by hair that's clearly not his. Now that you've had a bit more time to be with him, he is clearly wearing a wig. You would know that he is what's known as a Krynos-born, that he came about in this world with his parents breaking the law that is, Garou basically shouldn't get it on. I'm not going to quote the exact wording purely because I cannot remember right now. And the way that it manifested in him is that it sprouted a third eye. He then, going back to the answer to your question, interesting, because part of that to me sounds like your soul, your essence, travelled to the battleground, an Umbra realm where any battle you can think of happens there. We go there as Garou to learn, to study, to avenge and to revenge against those who wronged us, and to better our battle technique. But the theme with the chains, the wolf, I'm not sure at this time. Perhaps it's symbolism, breaking free from something that does not belong to you, breaking free from former life. Maybe it is something more. Maybe to do with your past, a bloodline or something. Yes. Curious. You'll have to let me know if you have more of those dreams. I would love to find out more.
I'll be honest, I'm really hoping not. But if they happen, not like anybody else to go to. Well, that internet search did not help. I'll tell you.
Yes, most strange, because it is common for Theurges to have these wild visions and dreams, to feel an energy, pins and needles feeling, just as they connect more with the spiritual side of the Earth Mother. But that is most strange. And he carries on with more of his teaching, his musing stuff to do with spirits and the importance of upholding this, that, and the other. I am curious, though, to what you think about your mother lying to you for all of your life.
Outwardly, Nadia has very much acted like she saw this coming. That is a lie. She is... Her mom has pulled a lot of shit in her life, but lying about important things was not something they did. It felt like the entire relationship just changed and shifted in a major way. And she keeps kind of just going back and forth like a metronome between she must have had her reasons and how could she?
That's understandable. That's a very strong feeling. Indeed. Do you think you'll ever forgive your mum for this?
If she makes up for it.
What would she have to do to make up for it?
Well, to start, I need to know why.
That would be a good start. Well, hopefully when time allows and you're not being forced to stay in Central Park, a place that once brought you some happy family visits, that now it's just as a weird realization that this is now a home for you. Probably never going to get used to the camping life, even with the teaching of shifting in your different forms. You haven't been around long enough for it to feel, I reckon, especially with your associated tribe, something known as the Glass Walkers. It makes sense with your association with technology, but yeah, this is all too weird, too sudden, and with everything else that you imagine, I suspect this is not going to go away anytime soon. We'll move forward a little bit in time, still sticking with you, our Fierge Homid Glasswalker, where Pond Skater takes you on a little bit of a walk, as he so often does. He loves his bloody walks. And he takes you up to the Belvedere Castle, which, for those who aren't aware, is like the big fort castle that's not too far from the Turtle Pond itself. It was being built in the late 1900s. The late 19th century, which is the late 1800s. Such a weird system. And since like 1919, it's been used as like the main weather forecast station for monitoring the environment around Central Park. It looks the part. It looks like a medieval castle with the brickwork and everything. It looks fairly new, which I think just sums up a lot of American architecture as a whole. There are people moneying about because there's like little exhibits there you can look through to learn about various important bits to do with the little castle itself and the development of Central Park and everything, although there are some bits that, in classic American fashion, they don't tell you about. And he takes you through inside a bit that would usually be left for staff, which is very weird given the way that Pond Skater is typically dressed, and you are very casually dressed. You don't look like you belong in this section at all, but there are members of staff in like uniform who walk past who don't pay you any mind whatsoever, so clearly they're in on it. And he gives a little knock on the door of his staff, and he just pokes his head through with their people working behind these computers and whatnot. Simon? It's a Simon about. You see this chair wheel past, looking up at you, who I'm unironically going to describe as somebody who looks like the Giga Chad meme. Really chiseled face. To some people, will be an exceptionally attractive person. Some people, it may just be too attractive, like he's had stuff done on him. He gives a puzzled look towards the two of you. This is the person I was telling you about. And then taps you on the shoulder with his staff. You were asking about others like yourself. There aren't many. This is Simon. Simon Gentle? Nadia. converse, and he'll just begin to walk around and just shuffle his way out of the building. Simon, who is blinking confused, just okay then. He looks around. Probably best not to have this conversation here. I'll see if there's a room free. He stands up. He's having to duck his head down a little bit because it was built for smaller people in mind. He's about 6'5".
Jesus.
Just come this way. He walks through. He has to bend under the door. He's sort of like arched a little bit, just wading through. When you were told that the Glasswalkers are usually like a techno nerdy bunch, to use Pond Skater's vocabulary, this image there's another culture clash going on in your mind. He takes you across. There's a couple of people in this room talking. He practically kicks them out. He offers you to go in first as to trying to be a bit of a gentleman. Do you go in first, or do you insist he walks through first?
I think she just kind of looks at him and just like, so you live in a castle?
He smiles. No, I live in one of the apartments in Manhattan. This is my job.
I was like, fuck. Sorry.
So do you go in at that point, or do you get him to go in first?
I think she goes. This is kind of like, she's watching how he reacts.
He seems friendly. He seems normal. That for ages you've been around a weird, free-eyed individual who is perpetuating racist ideas for money, for people. But this seems like a normal person. Weirdness alike, and just like low-key thinking him in black and white at the moment. He goes through, like he gestures for you to take down a seat in a chair if you want it. He just sits on this side of a table and he crosses his arms. Right, first of all, I'm really sorry that you've had to put up with him. We don't have a lot of Garou round here at the moment. He's obviously shut the door. I don't know whether he's told you, but a few years ago we had this pretty nasty attack and our numbers are practically halved.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So, and then a few of you come here at the same time. It's been a bit full on. Yeah, so there aren't that many Glasswalkers about here. Unfortunately, they're sort of scattered all over the place. Yes, as he said, my name's Simon. I'm technically public relations here. It's not an official title of the Sept, but basically my job is to just monitor things from afar. There's cameras everywhere. Obviously, it doesn't always work because somehow you get vampires and werewolves coming in here and just blasting the whole place up. Yeah, so I understand that you've probably got a few questions about Glasswalker stuff. I'm sorry, but he didn't tell me that you're coming today, so if you've got like one or two, maybe 3 questions, depending on what you want to know, I'll do my best to answer for you.
I got a really simple one. Please tell me there's something decent with internet somewhere that isn't just my cell phone.
Well, if you manage to do the whole fucking Rite of Passage thing, I may be able to, like, just leave the staff Wi-Fi password here, which is a lot better than the stuff that the public get. So we'll see how you get on with that. I'm not supposed to, but it's actually honestly really nice to have another Glasswalker here who knows how, at times, pretty backward things can be here, but that's just the way of the nation. Okay, that was a really quick one, so that's like your freebie question. So, yeah, what do you want to know? Like, I'm not the most knowledgeable, so, but I'll do my best.
Right.
Well, yeah, I'm not a theurge like you, but I'll do my best to help.
It's okay, I barely know what that is. Okay. Oh, I hate that I gotta ask this, but Glasswalker isn't literal, right?
Literal as in what we were expecting.
Literal.
Okay, so no, we don't
Yeah.
have anything associated with walking on glass.
I was like, fuck, okay, good. Alright.
No, what it is, right, and he grabs a pen and just finds a bit of paper, and then he draws out the, the sort of, like, the, 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 4 different symbols next to each other. The first one is a tiny little tower thing that looks like a weird tree stump. One of them's a bit bigger with a strike through it. Another one is like some other strikes through it, and then you've got this other one with even more strikes through it. So think of it in a more corporate sense, right? We've gone through a few rebrands over the year. For most of our time, we were known something as the Iron Warders, right? Because we are like one of the 2 tribes that really do well integrating in city life and people. We still get the ick because we're still part wolf, but like up until the 1700s, basically, when we all started coming over to America, we were known as the Warders, you know, in the like the proper fashion sense. And he points to the little stump with no slashes through it. So then we came over and we basically accelerated trains being made, and we then upgraded to the Iron Warders. That stuck around for a little bit, and then he represents with the more slashes through it, and then he points to the one with the most slashes through it, and we are now the Glass Walkers because at some point people invented glass that worked properly, and the skyscrapers and whatnot. So we're basically adapters. We survive, we move with the times. It's why our totem is cockroach, because when all is said and done, when all the shit gets blown up, cockroach is probably going to be the one that survives. We're survivors, we move through time, yada yada yada. I'm not a Galliard, I'm a Philodox, so I don't have all like the lore, as it were, about the ins and outs, but I know enough of the basics. So it's basically it's fancy symbolism that gets completely brushed over a lot of people here, because we're not liked all that much because we use tech a lot more than everyone else.
Really?
Oh yeah.
That's the issue?
Well, it's a bit more complicated than that, because obviously the different moon signs and whatnot, the theurge, the whole spiritual side of things. The reason why they don't like us using tech all that much because it's associated with something called the Weaver, which is like one of these spiritual triads. To be fair, it is a pretty bad thing, and the way that the world is working at the moment. And the reason why that the worm's gotten out of control is because the Weaver put the worm in a rather nasty web, literally. It made the worm go mad, and now the worm has caused practically everything that's gone wrong in the world. And the Garou Nation don't like the Glasswalkers because we use tech, which is associated with the Weaver, because it's all about control and influence, and no disrespect, he leans forward as if the Weaver can hear him. She's a bit of a crazy bitch. But we use tech for Gaia. That's the thing that's not... that's completely brushed over everybody else, and I think that's something that you're going to have to try and emphasize and point out a lot in your time, because you're going to get people rolling a lot of eyes at you because you use a laptop and you don't scribble things down on trees and dirt all the time. That we do what we do to serve Gaia. We use the weapons and the tools of the enemy right back at them. And quite frankly, this place would have gone down a while ago if it wasn't for technology.
Duh.
Right.
Like, I know there's like that whole apparently... Fuck, I don't remember what it's called. I'm sure it's on my phone somewhere. The things humans do when they see us, like, they kind of freak the fuck out.
Yeah, delirium.
That would not be enough. There's way too much shit out there. Someone would caught something.
Yeah, the thing about that, there are people out there who they look a picture of werewolf and know what it is, and they're mostly alright. They're few and far in between, but there's just something in the brains of people that they see what we really are and they freak the heck out. Although that's actually that's a difference. I mean, okay, so once upon a time there weren't any tribes. There was just Garou, and there were a bunch of others that could shapeshift into different animals as well. You might meet some of them here. Who knows? Basically, our ancestors basically thought that humans were getting out of control, and we tried wiping them out. Obviously, we failed because we're still here. And basically, because of this literal war against cave people, it's now been ingrained in their subconscious that they see werewolf and they must now be in fear and will go crazy.
Whose bright idea was genocide?
Everyone's. You ask you ask anyone who knows anything about us who's done their homework, everyone will give you. There 13-ish tribes out there. Sorry, there's 12. There's 12 tribes out there, and everyone's going to give you 24 different answers, right? Everyone's got something to say on this matter. We were supposed to like keep an eye on them, and then someone, someplace, somehow, someone from probably the different tribes that would come to be thought it was a good idea because humanity had gone too far. Again, how we didn't beat some cave people, I've got no idea. But not saying that we should have done, but you know, I just laugh at this every so often.
Okay. Okay. That's kind of queasiness inducing discomfort. Good to know. All right. Cool.
Yeah, I was a bit the same when my uncle gave me the lesson as well. For ages, I was really scared actually being. And he pauses, realising this is probably the most vulnerable he's been in a while. Yeah, this is a bit of a culture shock. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not gonna like hide anything from you. I'll be worried if you get used to it, especially with who and what you are. I understand that you're Homid. I mean, of course you are. You wouldn't be worried about it if you were Lupus. We don't have a lot of Lupus in our lot because obviously you don't get many like wolves playing TikTok stuff on their phone. Does happen, but not a lot. Yeah.
So don't about that.
Sorry.
Sorry.
That's all right.
Don't ignore me, internet brain.
Yeah, so it's I don't blame you for reacting the way that you are. I mean, some people just like around here is like, well, it's our history, it's important. You have to be an overused soft or whatever. Yeah, try and don't have too many conversations with Spotlight. He'll go off on one.
Spot.
Yeah. Oh, Spotlight. He's our warder. He's a Red Talon, Lupus. All of them are Lupuses. He really does not like being here, but he's really the best that we've got. Yeah, is there anything else you want to know that I could do my best to answer?
Alright. Alright, so spiritual stuff. I'm not great at that.
Right.
But I really know tech.
That's good.
If you want... So this is less a question as much as an offer.
All right.
If you need something of that sort, please, I have support. Just...
Well,
there's no air conditioning. This is awful.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the spiritual Fjord stuff will come. As
cool.
Weird as Pond Skater is, he's pretty good at teaching and stuff, and he'll tell you about spirits, and you'll be able to learn about talking to spirits at some point as well. It's a very important thing that you will have to learn eventually. Tamaska's has probably got some things for you as well. Yeah, like, from what I understand, you're fairly new to this. You haven't had your Rite of Passage yet, so I wouldn't worry too much about that at the moment. Like, it will come. Just, you know, you weren't good with tech immediately. You've learnt to deal with that. And just to go back to your original thing, like, if you know, we're a pretty good, loyal tribe to each other. Like, we are pretty much a network of nerds and geeks, so... well, if you pass through the Rite of Passage and you won't be a second-class citizen, then yeah, we will hopefully...
I keep hearing that. What the fuck?
What, the Rite of Passage?
No, the second-class citizen part.
Alright, so basically you have your change, but you've got to go through some very important rituals and rites to basically prove that not only you are a shapeshifter, but you are loyal to the cause of protecting Gaia. Because I'm calling you a Glasswalker now because that's what people have told me, but technically speaking, you're not to be called that until you've gone through that. You are just someone who exists here, and we have to train you in the basics, what the different forms are, what your moon signs are, Basically doing the best that we can to speed run you through an ancient war, so when we do toss you out into the world, you're able to do the task that we're going to decide for you.
Oh. Yay.
Yeah.
Great.
I'm sure you'll manage all right. Like, it's actually, that's not true. It's actually quite common for new packs not to succeed very well. And he looks at the time on the clock on the wall. Yeah, I really need to get going again because they're probably going to go on a complete riot without me. So I will show you out, and hopefully I will be seeing you again. Again, apologies for any of Pond Skater's eccentricities.
I mean... Okay, yeah, no, there's some weird shit.
Yeah.
Before I go, what is the statistics on people dying? Because I didn't realize that was going to be a thing.
Oh, yeah. I'd say you've got a good... well, I don't know because we haven't talked about it yet, but like a 60-40% split.
Fuck. Okay. Alright. Cool.
If it adds any comfort, it's not... I mean, we are throwing you in the deep end because that's what we've always done in tradition and whatnot, but the idea of it is that you're going to be tested on your strengths and your weaknesses together as a group. That's why Pond Skate is practically... I imagine you haven't been able to leave aside at all, having seen what he's done with newbies in the past. Yeah, so you'll at least be able to use what you have on you to get whatever job it is down, so... I mean, you seem level-headed at least, and you are at least concerned that you may die, which sounds a ridiculous thing to say, but you'd be surprised how many people realise, oh cool, I'm a werewolf, I can do this and that, and then they get torn apart. So yeah, I will show you out, and hopefully we'll be able to have another more, well, less hospitable chat.
Cool.
Yeah, and he gives you a big pat on the back, realising he's just made things a lot more awkward doing so. So, we'll then move now, unless there's anything you want to ask or bring up, we'll move somewhere else in Central Park to our last of the remaining pack to be our little baby Krynos spawn. Well, baby in comparison, because everyone here is in their early 20s. Kenzie here is down a parent and 14 years of age. And remember that they had their first change at 9 years old, and they basically have been sitting around for years, unable to participate in a Rite of Passage. Just because of how things are handled in the Sept of Green. They've probably heard things here and there that other Septs would have just sent them out into the wild to do it by themselves, but the Sept of the Green's different. Now, you have your dad around still. That is, of course, if he wasn't out and about doing this, that, and the other, wandering about as he always did. As they kind of hinted at in the end of the previous session, as much as that incident, that attack with the Black Spiral Dancers and these vampires or whatever, that tore the numbers down by half, you've lost friends, you've lost family, and of course you specifically lost your mother, but in some ways you lost your dad because he seems incredibly distant. And you are aware in recent weeks that there are other Garou who have been coming here who have experienced their first change. You don't know who they are, they don't know anyone else that's here. You've all been kept very separate. And in the last few days, you've actually been a lot with the Sept leader since Mother Larisa left, just before you turned 4. Hundo, who you have always known, you've grown up with, and you've grown up with all these different Sept members I've mentioned. You've seen some more than others. Hundo is like yourself, he is a Bone or a Ragavash. You always knew that he was there helping out people with minority groups, the homeless and whatnot. He is, in terms of appearance as a Homid, quintessential Bone Nori. He is practically skin and bone. He's never wears clothes that seems to fit him properly. Something seems to be a bit big. Some of them like could do with a bit of a wash, but then again, it's a bit difficult sometimes doing it out here. You've heard whispers here and there from other bone Noras throughout the years that apparently there's some tricks regarding some bins that can help with that, but you've never gotten a straight answer out of that. But and of course, you remember as a young kid how you would pull childishly at Hundo's particularly big floppy ears. But obviously you don't do that as a 14-year-old, I hope. But in these last few days, you know that there's a change coming. You know it is running up toward what will be the Rite of Passage. And you're sitting down and you're chatting away with Hundo. And he's... Ever since Mother Louisa has left, there's a bit of a spark that's been gone from him. Like, you kind of picked up from conversations as you've gotten older that him becoming the Sept leader was very much a surprise to him. Like, and Mother Louisa disappearing the way that she did was very unexpected as well. So you're then sitting there, you've got like these Otolly burgers, just munching away on them. And he's just giving you this final lecture yet again on who and what you are. As if you haven't heard all of this for time. So, basically, as a ragabash, you... sort of the essence of what we are fits the ragabash to a T. Although there are some pretty good warriors of the Aruns are out. So, and you being as young you are is definitely going to help as well. Like, pretty good being like this invisible spy, like an urban survivor, this sort of thing. Of course, as young as you are, people aren't going to take you all that seriously, but they're not going to know that you're going to piss them off and pow. He has this sort of like detached uncle energy because of like the familial association that all you Bone Noras seem to have, like a very close-knit bunch, and he's always gotten on well with your father at least, so he feels like an uncle that you've never had. And as a, ragabash, what you're going to do, right? Us, we're known as pranksters and tricksters, although you probably remember other people like little assassins and things. Like, again, we're the underdogs, and people are not going to expect us to like undercut the hypocrisy of werewolf traditionalist werewolves like Zachary, bloody bastard that he is. I could tell you stories about the trouble that I got him as well, and Stonewall as well. Just how you feel?
Get you, I know that. I'm doing alright. Just at this point, Kenzie is more in their Hamid form, a lot more now, because you kind of have to be in New York City. So they have their mother's old coat like draped over their shoulders, and a pair of ratty sunglasses on their face, just trying to keep themselves protected from the sun, because albino is a bitch in the sun. Done fine, just getting used to everything, just riled up to go, just want to do something.
Yeah. And he puts the burger down to his side and he sort of like leans back a little bit. Times have been hard. And you've done well. Just wish your dad was around a bit more just to see it. Always finding something to do. He does love you though. Yeah. He's just... We all lost a lot of people on that day, and it's just... They've known... I don't know whether he's told you this or whether I've told you this. I'm getting a bit forgetful in my age, but... Those two were always smitten to begin with. Same pack, same Rite of Passage. They had their ups and downs, and... I won't lie, I was very jealous because, she was... He holds his tongue, realising what he was about to say was highly inappropriate. Let's just say that your mum was very popular. But honestly, those two were made for each other, and it's just... yeah, I think she'd be your mum would be very proud about, the Garou that you're going to be,
Yeah, I know she would. Just... Kinsey shrugs. Just feels hard because, the whole... They gestured themselves. Sport thing. No, a lot of people may not fully respect me because of that, even though Well, not a lot of us left, so hope they would respect me, but traditions are a bitch.
Yeah. But there's something really special about you, being as confident as you are, just like... He looks around, you know what, I'm going to say it, you have a great fuck you world energy, and I respect that. But it's also... But it's good that you are aware just how different others of our kind are going to be. Because obviously we're not the only sept here in New York. Most of them are up north, closer to Canada. But they don't see too kindly to what you are. I mean, one of them up north does. I forget which one at the moment, but yeah, it's just something to keep in mind. Like, if you're anything like your dad, I feel this is going to go over your head. Just like, don't get too cocky.
I'll be fine. I won't be too much like Coyote, I promise. I won't get too cocky, try to steal fire and bring it back to everybody. I know.
You're just like your dad. As he says that, he's looking at his phone. But you can feel buzzing on the ground, and he taps on it. He looks at the screen for a little bit. He looks around. If you were to look where he's looking, you see that there are other members of the set that are beginning to gather around in the distance where roughly Turtle Pond is. You can see like a different end of the castle that you would play a little bit around as a kid. Alright. This is it. Any questions before you head on over?
Nope. Kenzie just keeps their mouth shut, gnaws down the remaining bit of the Otoli's burger, just wipes their hands off on their pants, and just gets up and gets ready.
Alright, he gets up as well. He makes like typical old man groaning noises. I should mention this is someone who looks like he's in his 50s at this point, 50s, 60s. Oh, good crud. And he begins to walk forward, and because he's a bit stiff, he takes on a bit of limp. He stops you for a moment. Before I forget, I'm going to ask this now before I do it in front of everybody else and get weird looks. I'm going to have to ask you to hand over the keys.
Yeah. Oh, forgot. Kenzie takes off the necklace, which has the keys dangling around the end of the rope, and hands it over to Hundo. Yeah, almost forgot about that. Sorry.
Oh, no good. I mean, I know it's not technically a fetish yet because you haven't done what needs to be done with it, but if the others see you around with them, like, I don't need Spotlight nagging at me that you should not have these again.
Right. Don't get me started on Spotlight.
If you think he's bad now, he was worse when he got here. Yeah, so I'll keep these for now, and hopefully, and you're walking in, is he saying this? Obviously, when you come back, because I know that you will, if you're anything like your mum and dad, you'll get these back, and then we'll get something done with them. Yeah, and he clips them to the side of his like the little hoop strap things with the belt would go, giving him like a real old caretaker vibe. All he needs is just the mop and broom, and he'd be away. And so you're walking over, you see the rest of your sept standing around. You recognise Simon, or his deed name of Flash. You see Zachary still in that fucking Men in Black get up. Spotlight is just as moody as ever. You've probably never seen him smile at all. You see Pond Skater, he's got more of his ceremonial robes on. Again, wearing that fucking beating wig. He really needs to get a new one, or comb it out, or do something. You see Tamaska, who I'll describe now because I mentioned her a moment ago but didn't talk about her. Tamaska is a Native American woman who looks like she's in her late teens, early 20s. She's wearing some fairly nondescript stuff, like a short top, some short shorts, some like leggings sort of thing. You know her as her tribe. She is a Fierge. That's her auspice, sorry. She is a Fierge Yuktena, or something that she would refer to as older brother. You do not know why she prefers using that, but maybe in time she might tell you about that. She's fairly new, as in, like, came in at some point. She hasn't lived here all her life like everyone else has done, for example. You also know that she has a different job, so she leaves the sept quite frequently, likes taking walks across the Hudson River. But as you're standing there, there's some like trees that are dotted about on like a little incline of a hill. You see someone who's not too far away, leaning against the tree. A young white woman wearing complete black. Just in the dusk and the twilight things, you can just make out she's got like black lipsticks and black mascara. She's got like this sort of black hair bob sort of thing, and like this fringe is like covering one of her eyes, and she's very casually just leaning against it with her arms crossed, just looking and observing at everything. And as you're like standing in a certain position away from everybody else, everyone is like standing in formation. As I said, you've got this woman who you don't recognize standing and leaning against this tree. And this is the point where the other members of your pack to be will come down. And before we move focus to the pack proper, to the present day where we left off the previous session, what's going through your mind right now?
Kenzie is very much on the mindset of, I hope I get some people that are actually a little bit competent and that can actually help me with this rite of passage, because that's the one thing they want to succeed at the most is they want to be a proper Garou. They want to follow the legacy of their mom and dad. They want to be looked at with more respect, because if they pass the rite of passage, they kind of have to have a little bit more respect than just a cub.
Yeah, well, fortunately, they look older than you, and you're not going to be thrust in the world with a bunch of kids, like, taking over New York, like it's some sort of, like, 1980s, 90s sitcom. They all look roughly the same age as Tamaska. Actually, I'm going to throw things back at the rest of the pack to be, because you're all being led down, like... the only one who isn't up here with the rest of this crowd that I've mentioned is Salma. She is the one that is leading everyone down here. This is the first time that both Ezra and Nadia have met her. So she, again, headscarf, veil thing, and she looks... Unlike Pond Skater, it looks like she should be wearing the clothes that she's wearing and isn't trying to be offensive. She is leading everyone else down here. And I'm going to ask everybody else here, what is it that you're all wearing? How is it that you're presenting yourself to the rest of the Sept to be and your new packmate to be? And I will also point out, you're all in your Homid form.
I can go ahead and start if y'all like.
Yeah, sure. By all means, you start away, and then I'll pick on someone else.
Cool. I would say Dolly is not wearing anything too unusual. She's wearing a more relaxed fit pair of jeans, her motorcycle boots, motorcycle jacket. She's wearing a plain t-shirt and has her long tousled dark hair pulled back into a half ponytail. And, social dictations would, under most circumstances, she would probably put makeup on, but not tonight. She doesn't want the distraction of the sensation of makeup on her face to distract her from anything. And her dark eyes just kind of sweep the rest of the group, not really in a judgmental way, more just kind of taking everything in and trying to absorb as much as she can. She has a very guarded expression on her face.
Yeah, that sounds about right from how we described your interaction with Salma, just naturally on your guard, but not being aggressive with it. It's just your new place, new surroundings. Not this has been your way of coping with things, just being on your guard. How about Ezra? What clothes have you become accustomed to wearing?
Well, as of this moment, she hasn't really developed her own personal style yet. Mostly what she's been wearing is just what she's been handed by whoever's in front of her. But at the moment, I'd say she's just kind of wearing, very faded, dark jeans. Probably, a flannel that's kind of, torn and been patched in some places. And her, long, scruffy hair that has not really been, she's never been to a hairdresser in her life, for a number of reasons. So it's just kind of matted around her head, and she has to repeatedly kind of tuck it out of her face or whip it back.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. And I will say,
as far as go ahead.
No, I'll let you carry on.
As far as demeanor goes, she has missed her pack terribly. Even if like she never had like a proper friendship with them the same way like we have friends as people. Um, they were still her family, they were still her pack. So knowing that she's going to have a new pack, new people to attach to and shepherd and protect, um, and specifically in a way that like share her condition, uh, she's a bit eager.
That's cool. Yeah, the clothes thing makes sense, which is the thing I was about to say before I rudely interrupted you. It would have been Stonewall who just gave you some clothes to wear. So, oh, this
Yeah.
looks like this fits you, sort of thing. Spotlight has not given two fucks about that sort of thing. I can't imagine you expressing the sadness of your pack to any of them, unless I'm mistaken.
She wouldn't exactly go out of her way to hide her sadness, but she wouldn't be like, flaunting or displaying it either. It would just kind of be like, if you have the slightest sense of like empathy or like perception, you would see that like this person is a bit down.
Yeah. Again, Spotlight has given no shits about that thing. Oh, you're just a car, but this is what we need to do to get you up to speed, sort of thing. Stonewall wouldn't have said much about it, but the whole tough love sort of thing, there's definitely a quote-unquote softer side to the way that he's gone about teaching you this, that, and the other. And who knows, maybe at some point you may be able, confident enough to express this to one of these pack members to be. Which just leads... Nadia, what's your drip?
Nadia is wearing some... She has sneakers on. I will say, everything Nadia wears is some flavor of either contrasting color or something that's 9 neon. She's wearing some sneakers. Actually, some rather plain, like jean shorts. And then she looks miserable. I don't care how hot it is right now, considering the time of year. She is basically just wearing like a jogging sports bra, and she has like a coat that's wrapped around like her waist, which has like all these kind of almost cyberpunk inspired designs on it. She has the demeanor of somebody who's like she keeps looking at the sun like she's glaring at it to go down. Just leave already.
Yeah.
And she also has a backpack on that, which admittedly might look a little weird. It's probably the most normal thing about her.
That's fair. I will say, just to spin the thing back onto Ezra for such a moment, you probably find this a little bit unusual, not because of the fashion sense, but just because you're not used to seeing colours that vibrant coming off of a person. It's something that you still haven't quite accustomed to yet, being wolf-born.
Yeah, so, that's not natural hair color, that's for sure.
No, what is coloured your hair?
It's multiple colors. She has dyed her hair to make it so that at the roots it looks kind of orangey red. And it's like all the colors of fire, up to including blue and white by the end. She probably spent hundreds of dollars on that dye job.
That's fair. So yeah, very, very strange. I mean, I think Ezra might be a little used to like some people doing like the difference in hair colours, but this is just something else entirely. And Salma, who is an older, I should say, like late 30s, early 40s, I think I said previously, like, she sees you and it's like, she's very good at controlling her emotion, but even then she just takes a moment to look at you a bit more because she just wasn't quite expecting that. She'll look at the three of you, look over at the crowd and the boy in oversized clothes standing a little bit before everyone else. Are we all ready?
Probably not.
I think that in the present moment, I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Which is not very ready.
Thank you.
She just smiles and nods and looks at the three of you rather, said, I'm sure that you will be fine. Well, this way, please. And she'll turn and walk towards the group, and I'm presuming you're all going to follow? Cool.
Mm-hmm.
You'll follow down, practically maybe in a line together, or whatever, or a cluster or whatever. You see these members of this Sept down, the pond, the castle in the background, some of the buildings of Manhattan. There's some cheering around. You can see like there's a large group of people just a bit further onward. There's some sort of gathering that's happening here. If any of you bothered looking up on a phone, well, those who had phones had a look to see what was going on over here. There is a large gathering of Asian people who were celebrating their whiteness. Sorry, their mixed heritage. They came here in their thousands. So you could just hear
Hey,
bits
yo.
of... Yeah, that was a bit awkward given what you were saying earlier on, but this is what I wrote down, so I'm going to work with it.
You're good. Go on. I just think it's funny.
Yeah. So you can hear and you see that if you looked up, that's what you would know it was going on. Perhaps, maybe you were thinking that the day that this was chosen makes a good, like, blanket so people don't think what's about to happen is a bit too weird, because as far as all of you're concerned, this may just be a little bit of spiritual mumbo jumbo. You see all the people this sect who you've seen a little bit here and there, some more than others. You've all been well acquainted with Pond Skater. You all know Hondo as like the leader of the Sept. All the different individuals. You see the very surly, growling pout that is Spotlight, just never happy, and just like Kenzie here, this small little white boy in this large jacket and sunglasses and whatever else he said. You see this little chap standing next to you. Well, 14, so he's not that little. You do also see in the distance the woman in black that I described earlier on, and she's gazing her eyes between what's going on here and what's going on with the four of you there. Again, distance away that to show that she's not a part of this, but close enough to make it very clear that she is observing. And you do see like a couple of people who like look over of the Sept here, so it's very clear that she is meant to be here, but none of you recognize who she is. So the four of you stand. Salma, as she's leading there, like gestures you to stand in a line, like one next to another with Kenzie stuck on the end. You then realise that you're now being in a pack with a literal teenager, which I think is going to weird the two homids here, perhaps more than the lupus. And then Salma, she walks towards the back, and as she is walking back, another person walks past Kenzie. Kenzie, you feel this brush of wind as it walks past. This is your dad, who's walking, who you haven't seen all week. And he like walks very, almost marching his way through. And he stands like at the back. There's not like much of a line here because there's very few of these wolves here. Well, Garou here. He stands there. He looks at them and then looks at you, and he gives you a smile, which is probably the first time he's smiled at you for a while.
Kenzie just gives a nod at their dad, seeing the smile.
He's about to go and give you a nod back because you see his head move, but then Hundo steps forward and like he just stops. Right. No doubt why you know you're all here. Not too long ago, all of you were chosen by Gaia, the Earth Mother, to protect, to heal, and to restore her. To fight back against the forces of the worm. But before we get into that, we have to go through tradition as proper. This is going to be hopefully the first of many Sept moots, he says, looking almost with a I'm quizzing you sort of tone. So every month or thereabouts, we come together and we talk, discuss things. And we're just going to go through the motions of that, and then we'll get on to the formalities of why you are actually here today. So if our standing master of the How could, and he's cut off by your dad Kenzie, who just like gives a very loud sort of like, not like a wolf cry, but like it sounds urban, like a cheer sort of thing. Now you Kenzie would know, because you've been at a distance from all these Septs, being not part of the Sept proper, even though you've lived here all of your life. You would know, and I'm pretty sure everybody else here could work out by themselves, that given where you are, you would be unable to all, like, cry out as wolves would do. So this is very much like a loud gone ceremonies is just about to commence. Hondo nods. You all notice Spotlight, who's got like his hands locked together and he looks at the ground, almost like he's paying like 2 minutes silence for the fallen lost. Like, it's showing the gravitas to him, the seriousness of what's about to unfold. At last, you see some emotion from him. And Hundo starts to walk around, you know, in front of you, pacing the four of you, looking at you, just seeing how you all react. I imagine all of you are feeling a little bit confused by this. He stops and turns and looks towards in the general direction of Pond Skater, gestures him forward. He puts down his little staff and he bends down and he picks up a small metal bowl. Like a tiny little bowl that you probably like give one of your pets to feed. And it's just filled with water. And he walks towards the four of you. He places it on the ground, and then he sits down, and then he gets down on his knees. And he gestures to you with his arms for you to do the same.
I'll go ahead and kneel.
Yeah, Kenzie does it rather quickly, just immediately falling to their knees when gestured to.
And presume the other two would join?
It's comfortable as fuck, she sits.
Okay, fair enough. He looks. You are very much aware of some of the other set members. You now have daggers firing from the eyes of Spotlight at you. But Pond Skater doesn't do anything to correct you. In his kneeling position, he sort of like leans forward and starts chanting like, oh yeah, like sort of like a Mongolian throat singing sort of thing. Can I have everybody roll for me Perception and Primal Urge?
Difficulty?
For everybody, it's going to be difficulty 7, with the exception of Nadia, where it's going to be difficulty 5.
Yeah, that was a botch.
Okay, cool. We'll put a pin in that.
That is 4 successes on my end.
Okay.
Only had 3 dice, all successes.
Okay.
3 successes.
Right, so everyone got 3 successes apart from Dolly. Was that right? Or did you get 4,
Yeah.
Kenzie?
Kenzie got 4,
got
everyone
4.
else got 3, I got a botch.
Okay, cool. That is a very interesting turnout. Right, so we'll start... The 3 of you that actually got successes, as he starts doing the Mongolian throat chanting thing, Nadia probably, oh god, he's being racist again. The 3 of you feel this sort of buzz in the air. Kenzie, you're the first one to notice this, but the water in the bowl starts vibrating, like he's flicking it or something, and then the rest of you catch on, and the ripples begin to form. Again, Kenzie's the first one to notice. The effect is the same, it's just the speed in which you all notice this. Kenzie notices that the water then begins to glow a little bit, then so does everybody else. Kenzie, you're then the first one to notice a huge fucking white mouse that is now coming out of the pond behind everyone. You have seen this a few times before. This is the main totem or patron of the Sept of the Green, Great White Mouse. As big as this mouse is, apparently the mouse was bigger, as you were once told by Pond Skater. You see it then disappears. With Dolly, however, for a moment your vision just like is absorbed by this bright light that is coming from the bowl. It's not blinding for everyone, it's specifically to do with you. And you just hear this horrible little screeching, skirning, twisting, little whispers. You hear the words "not ready" every so often. Prove yourself, things like that. I'm going to ask you to knock off a point in your willpower.
Oof.
To everybody else
Done.
who is awesome. To everybody else who's like aware of like this rippling pool of the water, Kenzie, you are the only one who saw the mouse appear. You are all aware of the physical discomfort that Dolly is sitting through, as is everybody else at the moment. It gets to a point where it looks like that Dolly, who is like doing her best to hold her screams, you don't know each other's names yet, I'm just, obviously describing what's going on. It looks like she's about to make some sort of noise that it's hurting her, but then the singing stops instantly, the water fades out, you no longer see Mouse, Kenzie. Pond Skater sits up. Mouse is heard and looks towards all of you, but spending most of his time looking at Dolly. He then stands up, and I would like all of you, with the exception of Dolly, to put some to spend at a minimum 1 point of gnosis. And this is a test, so choose wisely.
Oh.
So as Kenzie got the most successes, how many points of gnosis are you about to spend?
I gave 2 points of gnosis.
Okay. Arthurge, Nadia?
I'll also do 2.
Okay. And finally,
I'll give 3 points of Gnosis.
Okay. The storyteller will remember this. Pond Skater then slowly stands up, gestures you all to do the same. I'm presuming that you're all going to either stop sitting or kneeling.
Mm-hmm.
He then picks up the bowl, hands the bowl to the smaller Native American woman, Tamaska, which Kenzie knows, and all of you are at least aware that she exists. She gives a little bow, and then she leaves, holding this little water bowl, heading towards one of the many fences that will disconnect the Sept of the Green to the rest of the world. And then you're standing there for a good 10 or 20 minutes as they go through a process here known as cracking the bone, which Kenzie knows all about, but it's very clear what this becomes. It basically becomes who's got beef that they need to sort out session. Which is, as flippant as I've just described it, from the seriousness of how everyone's conversing and talking to themselves, this is a serious matter, just to blow off steam sort of thing. You would have all been told by Salma that you're not to interrupt and only speak when you're spoken to. Not that she's addressed it to you threateningly, but it's being done with patience. And the four of you have just been made to stand there as the everyone here, with the exception of Tamaska, who's not here, and excepting to the woman who's leaning against the tree, are all conversing with each other. With the exception of Spotlight, who is kept very quiet. And I'm just going to go around and ask everybody what's the thoughts that's going around their head. I'm going to again start with Dolly, purely because she had the most interesting of the experiences just now.
Outwardly, she's very stoic. Inwardly, her thoughts are racing. And like the number one thought that surfaces on her mind is, what the fuck am I doing here? How did I get into this?
Yeah, that's definitely apt. Kenzie, you participated in a portion of the Sept known as the Inner Sky. This wasn't vocalized, but you've seen this just explained before from a distance. From what you could see, and given how little everybody seems to react, you can probably make the assumption that you are the only one who saw the totem. How does all this make you feel?
This point, with whether Lorenza told Kenzie at 3, like, you'll do great things, so much is in store for you. Knowing that they saw Great White Mouse, they took as almost like a sign of honor that I saw the main totem spirit for the set. I saw that. I don't know if anyone else did, but seeing that felt like a great blessing to Kenzie. He's like, oh, I'm doing the right thing, even if other people don't think I am.
Yeah, that's a really cool feeling. Like, just hold on to that. Might be the last time you'll feel happy tonight. Ezra, I'm curious to see what you thought about all of this, because, much to my surprise, you gave the most points of Gnosis here. What led to that decision?
There was no rational or really like explicable reason for that. It just felt right.
Yeah, I like that. That makes sense. Some would argue that's how it should be. It just feels right. And then off the
Yeah,
urge. Oh, sorry, you still
give
got
it a
more. Okay.
description. Sorry. Yeah, to give it a description would do it a disservice, I think.
How very lupus, I have to say. I like that. And off the urge, Nadia, who sat rather than knelt. What's going through your mind there right now?
Keeps having to stop herself from reaching for her phone. She is so bored. She keeps looking around and getting distracted. She cannot believe that these people are sitting here talking like this. She's just like, oh my gosh, are they just, is this everybody here emotionally immature? Just, oh, she thinks it's stupid, and it's trying so hard not to make it show. So she's kind of letting her mind wander, looking around, and has probably put her phone around, taken her phone out and put it away about 5 times without ever actually looking at it. Just starting tapping her leg. Yeah, no.
That is totally
I think
fair.
I'll actually steal a glance at her as she fidgets. Not like in a judgmental way, just kind of observing her behavior.
If she notices, I think she kind of eyebrows you and then does like finger guns and then looks really embarrassed, like, oh my gosh, why did I do that?
She doesn't look like she's judging you in any way. If anything, you can't really get a good read on her expression.
Yeah. That's fair. All very natural reactions, I feel, from all of you, from what we've learned about you so far. So, eventually, after this 20 or so minutes, the beef exchange amongst the Sept and some of its elders, it's about to expire, and Hundo's about to move things on, which is when Spotlight opens his mouth. No. There's something I want to get off my chest first. Of course. What is it that you want to share? He walks right past Hundo as he says this, and he starts looking at the 4 of you, patrolling the front of you up and down like he's a military sergeant sort of thing. I have a problem with each and every one of them here. Especially you. And he shoves Nadia to the ground with a hand, just pushes her onto the floor. I will note that nobody stops him, and nobody scolds him for this behaviour.
I will say, I immediately kind of tense up at that. And would it be possible for me to intervene in any way?
You absolutely could, but you don't know what the consequences are going to be.
Would it be possible for me to interpose myself between the 2 of them?
You can absolutely step in front of them. Well, at least step in front of him
Okay.
after he's pushed her.
I do so, and there is just a very... It's not an expression that really suits her human form, but she is startling.
He looks at you. You stare back. I'm presuming that the rest will be watching this. I think the people who would notice this the most is Nadia, who's on the ground looking up at him, around this other individual. And Ezra herself, or themself, you see Spotlight smile, which does not bring happy feelings. He steps away from Ezra, and he just says loudly, "They are not Garou. They are not ready." And Hundo will just say, as calm as the situation will allow, well, let's see if they prove you wrong. He turns round. He looks back at everyone. He has a little snarl. Quite literally. Little surly little thing. And he struts over, almost walking into Kenzie. You're not too sure whether it's deliberate or not, but he just marches over and stands back to where he was. He looks at Ezra for a bit more before looking at all of you in turn. I'm presuming at some point in all of this you get up, Nadia?
Yeah. She does, when he looks away, she does flip him off. Like, she wanted to do more, but something is telling her that would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
So,
Fair.
yeah.
So you flip him off, and I think there is a very clear, visible reaction from everyone in front of you, but Hundo's only reaction, he just puts up a hand and just like flaps it back down, giving everyone present a tired expression. He paces again, not with the same military... what's the word? With the same sort of like military character that Spotlight had, let's just say. The person who ruled this place before me was a bone Nora by the name of Louisa. Everyone called her Mother Louisa. She was closest thing to a mother than I ever had. And she had always says that home is where the heart is. And my heart, and I feel the heart of everyone else here, and hopefully someday with all of you, that will be this place as well. Our little bit of green in this fortress of the Weaver. For all the Rons that are in the world, there is something rather special about this city. How diverse it is, but that also does come with its own issues, only because people don't seem to be as accepting of that. And people have profited off of this for far too long. And tonight, maybe even the next day or so, depends how efficient the four of you are, we are going to strike back at a Force of the Worm tonight. Are the four of you ready to take up this task?
He immediately nods.
Sure.
Yeah, you see Dolly's expression hasn't changed once this entire time.
Ready.
He's turning to look at you all a little bit. Kenzie, he looks at you for a little bit longer than everyone else and he gives a little smile. The rest of the pack to be noticed this. It was very obvious that this was a little different. You don't know the reasons why. Maybe it's because that he's a kid, just giving a little pep up or whatever. They're friends and cousins of ours. He gestures to himself, of my tribe, who were meant to be here a few days ago. And Simon, Flash, points towards the 6'5" guy at the back, suspects that they have been taken and kidnapped for, well, I think you can all work out what their intentions might be. Coming over here for a ship, wanting to look for a good, greater life, a life that we were hoping to provide. But we reckon that somebody has gotten there before us. We had a location set up round Queens. They hadn't turned up. It's your job to find them, bring them back, and to find out who and what did this and get rid of them. Now, I will just remind you all of a few things. To uphold our rules, our traditions, the litany, I want to remind you that to act where possible with discretion. But I understand in this world, and especially with the things that we deal with, that things may escalate pretty quickly. And I just want to remind you that you're not... that with this Sacred of Ceremonies, your Rite of Passage, you are representing not just yourselves, but representing us. Your new home and your new family here. And we all understand how difficult it is to go through what you're doing, but that being said, until you have found out what has gone on and given us some news about our missing kinfolk, you will not be able to return, as is the customs of our ways and of the Rite of Passage. And as he says that, you hear like this little small thud. That is Pond Skater hitting his staff on the ground. And your Rite of Passage now begins. Hundo carries on. Use the resources available to you to bring our brothers and sisters home. No one here of the Sept will support you any further beyond this. He gives a slow nod, and then everybody else just begins to walk their separate ways. Hundo walks off and away. He doesn't acknowledge you at all, Kenzie, with this, and they just all go about their business. With an exception to the woman who was leaning against the tree, which some of the people walk past. They don't seem to acknowledge her either.
Well, seems like we're on our own, so we better get accustomed to each other. And Kenzie looks at all of you with the biggest shit-eating grin imaginable. So, what are your names? Come on, tell me. I want to know.
I'm not going first, so y'all better speak up.
Ezra.
It's none of your business. Alright, I can't help myself. Nadia.
Alright, I like that one. And what about you, sad lady? One that, they point at Dolly.
She kind of gives you a melancholic smile and goes, "You can just call me Dolly, kid."
Well, nice to meet you. My name's Kenzie. Before you ask, yes, albino. Not a big deal. Technically, it is a long story. But, well, we gotta get going now, don't we?
Well, she'll look at the rest of you and go, "Any idea where to start?"
Queens.
Well,
Okay,
Duh.
is anybody else thinking about the fact that there's that lady who's still here? What's with that? What's going on?
are you saying this out loud?
Yes.
I'm gonna look at you, Nadia, and just go, "We're under intense scrutiny right now, and you're wondering why people are scrutinizing you."
I'm just saying, everyone else left. That's weird.
She's not from around here, don't think so. So technically, I don't think it applies to the rules in place. Everyone else has to act like we don't exist. Her... Kenzie shrugs. Technically, if she's not from here, then she doesn't have to follow those rules.
Oh, really? Nadia starts sauntering over.
Oh, God. Look,
Dolly-
if you're gonna do that, at least bring a gift.
Yeah, Dolly's gonna saunter behind her and matching her stride, but also just keeping an eye on her. Because
Okay.
something inside her instinctually is screaming, "Nadia's gonna cause some fucking trouble. I better be there to intervene."
Okay, so you're just sauntering over there as confident as you are. Do you wait for her to say something, or are you gonna open up with some awesome one-liner?
Honestly, all she says is, "So you enjoyed the show?"
She pulls her face and bites her lower lip and just says, "I'm certainly enjoying it a lot more now," scanning up and down with her eyes, and as she speaks, she's got a very clear British accent.
Well, always happy to entertain incidentally, because, well, you know.
I think half the people here wanted to rip your throat out, actually.
Yes, I have to say I've been really annoying for them all day. I wasn't expected to be here today, but it's not every day that you get 4 really. She stops and then looks at Kenzie. 3 really gorgeous werewolves to be. Oh, we're having a field day here. And then she sticks out her hand to Nadia first. I'm Olivia, but everybody calls me One Eye for no reason whatsoever.
Nice to meet you, Olivia, who was called One Eye for no reason whatsoever. And shakes her hand.
Oh, I like you. You're cute. How about you?
I am.
And points at Ezra.
Ezra.
All silent, moody, also very cute. You? Points at Dolly.
This is the first time her expression really morphs, and there's an incredibly charming smirk on her face as she offers her hands and goes, Dolly Donahue, nice to meet you.
Oh, double alliteration. Oh, I like that. That is so adorable. And she gives a little, very energetic little shake of the hand, and then turns to Kenzie. Ah, you, I do know. Kenzie.
That's right, but we never met before, so can you tell me what tribe you're from, ma'am?
Well, it
But we
depends
can
how
ask that?
Oh yeah, everyone gets really, really excited when they ask that question. Well, technically speaking, I'm not a tribe in the sense that I'm like a big murderous dog. I'm what's known as a Korak, so rather than turn into a big slashy puppy dog, I've become a little raven. Oh, I nearly said crow. That was a little bit of a silly little incident there. Yes, I'm a Koraks. Technically fairer.
Kenzie immediately points and goes, "Oh, those! Yeah, I know those. My mom talked about them a little bit."
Ah, well, cool.
I guess we're all heading to Queens then, if you want to join us and watch the shit show at least.
Ooh, it's almost like a date. I think this is really fun and exciting. Yeah, sure. I've got nothing else better to do, and what a better night to explore the town with a trio of cuties and their kid.
I'll give her an incredibly flirtatious smile, but not say anything else.
Kenzie rolls their eyes, looks over the 3 of you, and just goes, "You know what? This feels like I'm being the fucking 5th wheel right now, honestly."
Do you say that, or is that just a thought in your mind?
No, they're saying it out loud. Kenzie just says stuff that comes to their mind sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dolly's gonna read.
You first.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna turn around slightly and gently pat your head, Kenzie.
Don't do that. I'm not a kid. I'm 14.
Oh, God!
Get used to it,
If
kiddo,
they look
because
young.
if they're as flirtatious they are, now you're going to be seeing a lot more of me.
Don't get that started. Also, Kenzie looks over at Nadia. Why is me being 14 a big deal to you? You seem to be a bit weird by that.
Well, it's this whole concept of child soldiers that I just generally have a little bit of an issue with.
Well,
You know?
technically, Krenos born age a bit different before their first shift, because I technically had my first change at 9.
Oh,
So
that
it's a big
explains so
deal.
much.
Yeah.
Is that why they were acting funny around you, kid?
Huh?
Is that why they were acting funny
yeah.
around you?
Yeah, so you know the whole big deal, the litany, the whole first thing of like Garou should not mate with Garou? What happens when a Garou mates with another Garou? You have a thing called Krenos born. We're technically considered inbred to some people, and it's deformities. That's why I'm albino, not just a fun quirk. It's a deformity that happens. Because too much werewolf is a bad thing, apparently, to some people.
Kenzie's mum
And
got it going on. Kenzie's mum got it going on.
Because of that, And because of that, I'm tempted to consider even more of a second-class citizen than you guys were, technically.
Sounds
What
rough,
about that?
buddy.
That's fine. At least I didn't get painful over one of the rights. Kenzie just chuckles to himself.
I'll actually focus my attention on Ezra for a second, and I'll go. And you look like a right fish out of water, darling.
Not a fish.
What?
Ooh, does that mean you're... Oh, you're Lupus, aren't you? You're a wolf.
Yes.
Woof. She smirks, biting her lower lip.
What?
You said wolf.
Woof?
Woof.
Gur, arf, arf,
No.
gur.
Like the sound that. Look, before we go there, do you all mind if we stop near a coffee shop? I want to do some shit before we get there. Do a little scouting.
Not a bad idea.
So,
I'll look over at her new Korax friend and go, it's a little coffee date.
Apparently so, but I don't drink coffee because I get way too hyper with caffeine.
You get decaf, it'll be fine.
Okay, fine, you bend my arm.
I'll look over at Nadia and go, I'm still relatively new to the city, so you're gonna have to lead the way, darling.
now that I can do. Everyone follow me. Feel free to gawk and stare up at everything and look like a tourist. Why not? And just starts walking off.
Ezra does so immediately.
Mm.
I'll
So,
hang
Nancy
back with
just
Kenzie,
shakes.
actually.
Mm.
Yeah, Kenzie just shakes their heads like fucking newbies, just like muffled under their breath.
Okay. And as for Olivia One Eye, she is at the front of the queue with presumably Nadia, who is taking everybody to the nearest coffee shop outside of Central Park. Now, as I've mentioned a few times already, you lot have all been in Central Park for the last month, with the exception of Kenzie, who has been in there for the entirety of their 14 years. So there's a sense of liberation that all of you are probably feeling, or like, oh, finally, we're both free again. We're all free again, rather. But if everything feels just a little bit different as you move away from the safety of your quote-unquote home, move towards more urban environments, there is really unpleasant feelings in the air. The traffic seems louder, the people conversation seems a bit more harsh and discordant, the lights are bright, it's all chaotic and the words, and there's just this constant, discombobulating rush of emotions and feelings that you're all feeling, all being told at one point, you know, that all Garou to an extent feel this way, just not really able to truly get accustomed to city life. That despite this, the Sept of the, what's the name of the bloody Karen? The Karen where you at the Sept, whatever, it'll come to me in a moment. I've mentioned it a few times already. Despite this little pocket of green in this Weaver Fortress, it's kind of unusual that once most of you, well, half of you, experience Sept of the Green. There we go. You all lived in city life. You've all been dealt with buildings and whatnot, and it's just strange just how thrown all of that is. And Nadia, you are reminded once more of that edible donut incident of your first change, walking through some small coffee shop, just how everything just buzzed and just just whirring and whiz. The light just seems to flicker a little bit, and just people chatting away. TikTokers sitting outside like, oh, I'm here at such and such cafe, it's got such and such scars and Trustpilot or whatever. Just the noise and the chaos, everything just seems a bit much.
He puts one earbud in and starts playing some music. Just, nope. Mm-mm.
Fair dues. You all go through the motions. I'm not going to do like a coffee buying scene. I don't think we need to. We all know what to do, how that plays out. Whoever it was that bent, it was Dolly who bent them for getting decaf. You get them to get a little bit of decaf. All having something. Kenzie, I presume, are you having coffee? You're just going to get like some other sort of drink or something to munch upon.
Kenzie's just like, no, I literally just ate Otoli's like a couple, like a little bit ago. It's like, I don't need anything.
I think Dolly would at least offer you like a hot chocolate or something.
Oh, nah, I'm fine. Need to keep my nose sharp. And taste buds too, to an extent.
Suit yourself.
I will.
So you all have your little drinks, you go and to and from, or to go, I presume. And I presume from that point onward...
Nadia needs the internet.
Ah, okay, so what's Nadia up to then?
She gets her laptop out, like she orders the blackest coffee she can get.
Mm-hmm.
Probably an Americano.
And she's just going to... I don't know coffee, so I'm just going to assume you're right.
I used to be a barista. That's why I'm offering it to you, to make it easier.
Awesome. Yeah, that. And she's going to see if maybe she can't try to learn more information. After all, there are cameras everywhere. And if you know how to get into them, you might be able to find out something that you're not supposed to know.
Do you say all this out loud, or are you just venting this to me and telling me what you're doing?
I'm telling you what I'm doing. She just kind of gets on her computer. She purposely sits in a corner. She's done this many times. This is a place where she's going to make sure others cannot see her. Her back is to a wall. And just gets her laptop out. And just kind of starts typing away. And because she doesn't want to explain the fact that she's doing something very illegal, she does not say it out loud and just hopes these people don't start asking too many questions.
I think you'll find.
I will say.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I think as you settle down, I think Dolly is probably sharp enough to realize that you pulling out a laptop in a cafe like this means you're probably going to be digging into something. Mm-hmm. So she'll slide in next to you to block anyone's view of your screen and just sip at her coffee. But she's very casual about it.
Awesome.
Calliope?
Yes. As I was going to say, Ezra, she's glimpsed these sorts of things a few times from, I assume, tourists and other general joggers and passerby in the Central Park area. And all the way back to the conservation as well, where occasionally people would have their little slabs and lights and whatnot. Seeing one like very up close, just kind of like, and honestly, like not recognizing it might not be like very socially aware. Just kind of like bends around just to kind of look at the laptop screen.
I think if anything,
Ezra to... Sorry?
Go on. No, okay. Go on.
Andy, do you allow Ezra to watch what you're doing?
She just discovered this girl's apparently a wolf. She knows she's going to have no idea what's going on. She doesn't care.
Alright.
Yeah. If anything, Dolly will actually encourage Ezra to sit next to her, in between her and Nadia, and outwardly to people who don't, know what's actually going on, it just looks like a New York City polycule going on a date or something. She's just leaning up against Ezra and, kind of resting her chin on her shoulder and also observing her screen. Kind of like they're, watching a show on Netflix or something, on Nadia's laptop or something. That's how it would look outwardly to other people.
This would leave, for a little bit, Olivia with Kenzie, and she will squat down towards... So she's a bit smaller than in height, just to... Almost as like a big sister sort of vibe sort of thing, and she'll just lean in with her little cup in hand going, who's gonna bet that one there, pointing at Nadia, is the Glasswalker?
I feel that's gonna be correct, honestly.
Do love me a good nerd.
Seems like it. Kenzie just immediately goes, bleh! It's like, no! Before just looking outside, trying to keep, like, an eye out on things. Because somebody needs to be the lookout for outside while these three are looking at the laptop.
Okay. Olivia responds with a smile. She did exactly what she intended to do and just stands up and just sits down on a separate chair looking out the window as well. Occasionally looking over what the other three are doing, just to keep an eye on them, keeping an eye on you. So, we're going to move over to our nerd in the corner and her gal pals. What is it exactly that you are wanting to try and look for?
First of all, I'm going to see if I can't find a way, because this is New York. There are traffic cameras everywhere, and governments don't exactly pay their people well usually. So odds are, someone hasn't done their due diligence. So I'm gonna try to get in.
Yeah,
I'm gonna see if I can. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, honestly. Now, this to me sounds like an appropriate usage of an intelligence and computer role, because this is revised edition technology isn't thing. I'd usually gear it in that direction. I will say that your specialty in hacking comes into play here. And I forgot to mention this. So if you made that roll for me, and as everything you've just said is pretty valid, you're riding off of a pretty fucking crappy Wi-Fi, I'm going to say this is a difficulty of 5. So you make that roll, and I'll look over in a moment what you've done as I talk to our viewers. Now, he says, forgetting exactly what they were about to say. Bollocks. Gone. Totally fucking gone. It might come back
Rip.
to me. Yeah. Oh, I remember now. As this is we're doing the whole Rite of Passage thing, our characters do not have access to any of their gifts or their rights. That will come well, if they succeed in the Rite of Passage. So when Hundo literally said you have to use what you have on you, it meant that quite literally. So, how many successes did you get?
5.
Awesome sauce. Well, you're able to find exactly what it is that you're looking for. Scanning around the cameras and whatnot. You remember it was a few days ago. It was in Queens, so it's rough in your neighbourhood. You know it well, etc. and so forth. You're scouting around, and until it gets to a point there's this park. You recognise this park before. You used to come here quite a bit as a kid. And there's just all these people just moving around. It's quite literally, and of course the two gal pals either side, you notice this. They're standing around for ages. There's this big blacked out van that comes past. There's a brief conversation, then more other people jump out of the van and they're literally pointing guns at them and pushing them in. This is in the middle of the day too. And people are just unsure what the fuck is going on. Now, with 5 successes, that I was looking for 3 successes from you because that was just all that was needed with everything we talked about. I forgot to ask, did you get any 10s of that roll?
1.
Okay. Cool. Right, if it was 2, then actually if it's 110 that explodes. So if you want to roll that again and up the success-age a bit.
Another 5. So that's
Okay.
6 now.
6 successes, awesome. So you can ask me 3 questions, and I will ask you as honestly as I can provide.
Where were they taken?
They were taken to a club not too far from where you're sat at the moment. But I should probably check my notes because I did write it down because I gave it a funny name. They were taken to a club not too far where you are in Lower Manhattan, so literally back down the other way, called the Gorge Profonde.
Alright.
You got this.
How many took them?
There was a driver, somebody in the passenger seat, and then 3 people with rifles jumped out the back and pushed them in.
Right, that's 5.
Your final question.
I think I want to know a way into the club that you normally wouldn't be able to get into.
Okay. With 6 successes, I think I'm more than willing to give that to you. The club has a back entrance with that's usually meant as like a fire escape, and that's where you would have seen them being pushed down. Literally, at this point, gag and hands bound and being pushed into the back of this club. Because obviously, coming in the front of this club is a little bit risque. Well, risque with that. All right.
I think
So
as sorry, go on.
okay, as you sit with those thoughts a little bit now, and think about how well, and the other 3 who all saw all of this is now just like doing their thing. Kenzie, you're looking out the window, looking for stuff. What exactly is it that you're looking for?
Honestly, the same kind of people that they experienced when the Sept was attacked. People that just look more ill than usual, like even more ill than Bonars, basically.
Oh, that's asking for a lot there. Let's see what would be an appropriate role for you there. So perception and of some description, I think. Yeah, let's give that a perception investigation now, because this is at night. Well, night and there are lights about. And there's a lot of people. I will say that's just going to be a difficulty of 7.
Gotcha. 2 successes.
2 successes. Okay. Nobody in particular stands out to you. Like, you see people come and go all the time. You know, you've lived in a pretty busy part of the world. Like, you don't see anybody that looks like whatever the fuck the black spiral dancers were wearing that time. Anybody that's pale, anybody that's weird looking. But you do see a strange scene that you probably find a little triggering. I will say it is not this person, before we jump to conclusions, but it doesn't take long for, like, it's on the other side of the street sort of things, like, not directly in front of you. You do see that there is some, definitely far too young for you to see, well, you as Kenzie, there is 2 people in dominatrix gear. One of them is like in a full like leather outfit, like not leather, latex suit sort of thing. Yeah, latex on hands and fours, being led along by somebody with wearing next to nothing, being dragged along in a chain, like some weird kink thing that's going on. This is obviously attracting some unwanted attention. You're looking at it a bit puzzled by all of that. Olivia, who's looking out the window as well, she's obviously noticed this as well. I won't go through what's in her mind, but what in that instant you are reminded a little bit of that woman, that black spiral dancer who called herself Yizik. That it doesn't look like her, but just the whole vibe just sort of makes you feel a little off, a bit icky.
Yeah, they're not. Kenzie just takes a step back before immediately looking away from the window, like clutching the sleeve a little bit of their oversized jacket, but not showing a lot on their face.
Mm-hmm. Olivia makes notes that you walk off. Doesn't pass comment, because I feel that you're doing your best to compose yourself, and she doesn't seem to be all that interested, because she obviously follows your gaze back to the rest of the troop, slides over on this little windowsill that she's been sitting on, and just sort of leans closer, looks at the 3 of you. This will probably be at the point now, dear, that you find the back entrance to this club, and all of you obviously see the display that's just happened.
Hey, Nadia. You probably want to get in the back entrance, right?
Yeah, that's an idea.
Maybe a couple of us could make a scene at the front entrance and make it a little bit easier for you.
That actually reminds me. I don't know if you noticed the 3 people with pew-pews, but I don't got anything for that.
I'm gonna look at her and go, is that something you want to prepare for, or do you just want to cross that bridge and reach it?
I'm not as good at, shall we say, filing the serial numbers off in the physical. But if you got an idea, I'll take it.
I'll actually look at Ezra and go, I know this world's pretty alien to you, but if you got any ideas, I think we're open to it.
I can be quiet.
Maybe you could back Nadia up in the back entrance?
Olivia leans much too forward when you say that, with her hands on her head on her fingers, with a smile.
I'll look over at her and go, you want to stick your nose in this too, don't you?
Well, you did bring me along, and if we're going somewhere pretty fun, I might as well.
I'll just look at her dead on with the flirtatious and almost borderline sultry grin and go, you want to help me out front then?
Sure.
Okay.
And I think we might have a... I'm actually going to glance around for Kenzie for a second.
Kenzie is still nearby, just keeping their back towards. Just they seem to be very focused on a very specific spot on the floor at the moment.
Hey, Kenzie?
Yeah. What?
I'll gesture for you to come over.
Yeah, they'll walk over a little bit. Need something?
Can she tell that something's bothering you?
Let's make a roll for it. Kenzie, can I have you roll for me manipulation and expression? And
yes.
Dolly, roll for me perception and empathy.
Yeah, sure.
Or I will allow appearance and empathy, whichever one of those two is higher for you.
Appearance would be much higher, so let me do that.
Cool, you do that as I now pull something out from my bookshelf with great difficulty.
Alright.
What difficulty? Just 6?
Kenzie, how distraught are you by what you've seen outside? On a scale of 1 to 10.
A 5. It's like it brings back the memories, but not. It's not terrible. Not the reminder of that thing looking sickly and the woman specifically. Just like brief visions of it, but not like hardcore.
Okay, then the pair of you at difficulty 6.
Okay, I'm making my roll. That'll be 4 successes for me.
I got 3.
Yeah, to quote a relatively small independent film, Dolly, you feel there's a disturbance in the force surrounding this kid.
Kenzie, you would see her expression soften significantly, and she'll go, hey, you okay?
I'm fine. What do you need, Dolly?
Well, Nadia worked her magic, so we're figuring out who's gonna go where. I don't think that the club would allow you to go in the front, so you might have to go in the back.
That's fine. I might have a way for us to get in a little bit better if the back door's locked or something.
I'll glance at Nadia and let you two work that out.
Your way around lockpick?
Not lockpicks, but I can force open a door pretty well. It's a little something I picked up from my dad and mum, dad talked about it a lot more. Dad and Hundo.
Okay, just making sure. When you say force open, are you talking about ram it with all this?
Kenzie sighs, walks over, leans in, whispers in your ear. I mean, I can transform parts of my body to be more like that big fuck-off two-legged wolf form, Krinos.
Oh, sweetheart, we can all do that. You're not special for being able to do that.
Kenzie rolls their eyes. Yeah, but I'm really fucking good at it.
Well, that's good because I'm really fucking up. Anyway,
Sorry, Mr. Adult.
I'm not a mister, first of all. Is there anything called non-binary?
oh hell yeah! Get a hold of her hands, like high five you.
Olivia looks saddened as you say that, like she realizes that she fucked up. Then said, "I'm sorry, I didn't know."
No, it's fine. More just, fucking Spotlight's always a fucking dick about it. Cause no real
Yeah.
concept of what the fuck that is.
Yeah, that one seems like he likes to posture. All bluster.
I don't like Spotlight.
That's because of what he is, and I'll tell you more about that as we walk and talk, because I can't really say here for certain reasons.
I can make a meme of it. Meme of him. I'm gonna humiliate his ass.
Anywho.
Don't, because...
Oh,
you will know it's me.
Sorry. Colin, you want to finish your thought, or? Sorry.
No, I'm good.
So we have a plan, if I've understood that correctly, because there was a lot of thoughts thrown about. Olivia, Dolly, and was there Ezra at the front, and then the other two at the back, or have I got that mistaken?
Ezra is going to be joining Nadia and Kenzie in the back, and Olivia and I are going in the front, because we're a little bit more of the social faces that I've gathered.
Okie dokie. Right, got that wrapped around the right way. So, with the dress in mind, it's just, well, you can either walk down there or you can catch a cab. What's the mode of transportation here?
I'm fine with walking.
Walking.
It's not far. If it's not far, I'll do walking. But if it is more than a mile, she's hailing a cab.
Okay.
I will say, though, Dolly's been withholding her judgment this whole time. She will judge you hardcore if you get into a cab.
That's okay. Nadia will judge you if you get sick because of the cab ride.
It's more, why would you waste your money when we're only going a couple miles?
Yeah. So, another stroll through the Big Apple, more uncomfortable sensory feelings, and those feelings only change, well, not so much change, they only worsen the closer you get to this place. It's more in the heart of the city, the more in its belly, and just seeing and knowing, well, the three who actually saw what's happening in there, probably, well, and those who have the more of the awareness of what's going on here probably feel a bit sick inside. So let us forward first to the front of the queue. Oh, the front side of the building, rather, of the... Bloody hell, what do I call the bloody thing? The Gorge Profonde. This tacky red neon light, one of the lights flicker a little bit. It's a real dingy place. The New York aroma of piss is more fragrant here. There's somebody like half asleep in the gutter sort of thing. Round other back alleys you can hear sort of nondescript noises that I'm not going to go into because YouTube. This is another element of the city that you don't really get told about as a tourist. So, what is the plan with the two of you at the front, Dolly with Olivia? There is a queue, mostly men, wanting to go into this place. There is a bouncer at the door.
Alright, before I get into anything, I would have exchanged numbers with Nadia so we can keep in touch.
Okay.
Oh, She also gives you $300 in cash.
Oh, I will happily take your money. Thank you.
It was very much
And
if you need a distraction,
yeah,
do
and
what you gotta do.
anything, if anything, when you hand her the cash, she would have given you a flirtatious smile and said, "Oh, thank you."
I think she just got to stop you like, if things go really well, get me a drink.
I'll bear that in mind. But yeah, with that little flashback out of the way, I'll look at Olivia, and I'll kind of make a show of it, turn on the charm a bit, and I'll go, I don't know, doll. This is kind of a long line. Like, she says it loudly enough for some of the men to overhear.
Some of them look and they're giving you certain looks, sort of standing out. Very like some of them are looking with confused, like, are you lost? Some of them are thinking, well, I shan't go into that too much. I know, just so boring. Just, and I got dressed up for nothing. She pulls down her dress and exposes more of her cleavage, really making a whole show and tell of it. The bouncer at this point is looking over the two of you, just making a noise. Like, but he doesn't say anything, but he's like clearly watching and looking. And Olivia is the one that turns and looks over. Like, excuse me, I don't suppose you could do a little favour for two hot, bothered, lovely young ladies for such a reputable establishment? Pretty please. Should now roll for the guy at the front of the door. He looks at Olivia, looks over you, said, name? Oh, do we really need to go there? Dolly, he's been a pain.
I'm just gonna look over at her with like the sweetest little doe eyes, and as I say what I'm about to say, I'll gaze over at him with a very knowing intention, and I'll go, "Oh, don't give him too much of your." I'm gonna rephrase that actually. She'll look over at her, and then her gaze will travel to him, and then she'll go, "Oh, don't give him too much fuss. The big man's just doing his job."
Yes, he does look rather big and impressive, biting on her lip. You being associated with a little bit, that just felt a little bit on the force side. He looks at this clipboard in his hand and thought, there's some noises of people in the queue as well. Like, he then puts his hand against his ear a little bit, looking around as if somebody's listening or watching him. Like, look, if you want to go in, get in the back of the queue. You ain't jumping. Boring.
I'll glance over at the next person in line and go, maybe we could join you instead?
And Olivia will just sort of like lean over and go, pretty please. Gives a little cheeky little wink. And I am going to make... Actually, you can make a roll for this too. Can I have you roll for me charisma and... expression or subterfuge, whichever one of those two is better for you. And I will definitely say that your specialty in charming works for this.
Cool.
Obviously, let me know if any of those 10s appear so they explode.
That's 2 10s actually. So
Oh,
far I got
nice.
3 successes. Let me reroll those 2 10s. Four successes.
Wow, 4 successes. And I rolled for Olivia as well, and like this guy is like practically sweating buckets, like any fucking meme you would see where it's just unreal how he's reacting at the moment. But not so much what you're saying. He seems to be more focused on Olivia of what she was saying. It's like, yeah. Oh, you're such a darling. Thank you. And she gives him a little peck on the cheek. Like it's all surprised. He turns around and looks at his mate. He's like, wait. And as he turns away, Olivia immediately spits at the ground. This bouncer,
Dolly is good. God.
I was just going to say the guard who's just watched all of this happen he just lowers his sunglasses a little bit. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, I'll slide under the rope with her, and she is more inclined to keep her composure, but she's also keeping an eye on not only the bouncer, but the other people in line as well.
And you step over, Olivia makes a deliberate point, like locking arms of you, and she'll lean in and so, if this goes well, I'll teach you how I did that.
I'll bear that in mind. But in the meantime, she's actually going to snake an arm around Olivia's waist and pull her closer and go, "We really gotta sell it."
She blushes. So, with that scene happening out the front, I'm just going to pick up the camera and just throw it over the other side of the building, where it's not, as you would have seen with the security camera, it's not as straightforward to get in. There's like a little gate that gets in at the moment, it's shut. Like, you peer around the corner and there's like another guy that's standing out the back because the fire exit that you saw the people drive in, it was obviously big enough for this van to get into, but unless you climb over, you're not getting in there just yet. Now, can I have all three of you roll for me perception and investigation? Actually, no, sorry, wit and investigation. And this will be at standard difficulty.
Here's successes on my end.
Was that, sorry, 2 successes?
Yep.
Okay.
3 success.
Alright.
Okay, I got 4 successes and a 10, so I re-rolled that, I believe. To get another. Or
yeah,
is that
so-
how that works?
What's the specialty there, sorry? So I don't have to flick through my wad of characters.
Exhaustive. So this will not apply. I didn't add that.
No, I don't think so, no. This is like a glancery sort of thing rather than intentionally staring. So, how many successes was that?
It was 4.
Okay, so the two of you who know with the 4 successes notice that the guy's got a gun, like on a holster sort of thing down on his side. Kenzie, not so much, as a generic goon, like what to be expected as a club, you know, just you don't notice this at the moment.
Like, that's a gun? Okay.
A gun? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a rifle.
Gun is bad, right?
Very... Kidsy shudders. Yeah. Very, very bad.
Like, could die right here bad. So,
Yeah.
just gotta... Oh, shit. Basically, they point it at you, and then thing comes flying at you really fast, and then ow, and pain and blood.
Could all three of you roll for me dex and stealth?
Ooh, I'm good at this.
Good.
Game standard difficulty.
Ooh, 3 successes.
Okay.
Just 1 success for me.
Okay.
4 successes.
Okay, cool. The guy turns round, and Nadia is the first one to react and move away. The other two, not so much. And he sees the two of you, Ezra and Kenzie, just peering through this fence, and the guy goes, "Hey!" He puts his hand on where the gun is. "What the fuck you doing? Private property, fuck off."
Kenzie raises their hands up. Apologies, sir. Just... sorry, me and my sister were a bit lost, just trying to figure out certain things. Apologies.
Yeah, where you headed?
Our parents said to meet around here somewhere, right, sis? And Kenzie looks up at Ezra, like, hoping that there's a bit of help.
parents are inside.
Your parents?
Who?
Yeah, sure. What are their names?
Ezra and Kenzie.
All right, sure. I'll go and check them for you. Okay. He takes a little walk back. He turns like this little knob on the fire exit, just pushes in. He looks through. He does a very over-exaggerated, like looking for them. Slams the door. Yeah, I don't fucking see them. And now he's pointing his gun at you. Fuck off, or I will open fire on your asses.
Kenzie grabs Ezra and pulls her back heavily. Alright, we're fucking off, you cunts. And just backs off.
Nadia, what are you feeling about all of this? Because he hasn't seen you yet, because you've actually had the speed just to duck round. So, what are you feeling and thinking about this?
He's broken into a lot of places before, so she's just trying to figure out how can she get this guy to look. He's... Are there any exposed windows?
That is a good question. Odds or evens?
Odds!
Oh no.
That was a 7. Coincidentally, there is one above you, but you're going to... Well, if you're just a bit taller, you could jump up and pull yourself up on it. But with your current height, build and whatever, you're unable to reach up to said window. Which does actually remind me, actually, as I'm inferring to something. I should have done this ages ago, and it's a pretty bad time for me to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway. I want, like, everybody to roll me 1d10, and that number is going to be the number of temporary rage points that you have.
I rolled a 10, so I guess I max out.
Yeah, you max out.
Oh. That's
Oh,
9. Oh, that's not... Oh, wait.
I rolled a 9.
Okay,
Nice.
so you... 10, 9, what does everyone else get?
I got a 5.
Okay. So, yeah, mark that down in your temporary rage, which are the squares. And what did Nadia get?
9.
Okay, that's very interesting. The Arun has the least amount of temporary rage. Okay, cool. To that end, Ezra, you have this guy who is clearly wanting to harm and hurt the two of you. You are aware what that does. As you said so eloquently, done is bad. Technically, you are sort of a pack. This white as fuck individual next to you is younger, a kid, and this guy is preparing to shoot a kid. How does that all make you feel?
Mad.
Yeah, I think mad's a good word for that. Can I have you make a rage check for me, please? So you're going to be rolling
I can.
5d10 for me. And tell me the
Difficulty?
That is a good question, because the difficulty of rage checks is dependent on the phase of the moon, and the reason and why I made such a controversial meetup point and the date so important is because I wanted to find out the phase of the moon. The phase of the moon at today's date, the 10th of May, in the year of our Lord Gaia, well, Lady Gaia, I should say, it's a crescent moon. So the difficulty you're looking for is 7.
Okay. That would be 1 success.
All right. Well, at the moment, you just feel mad. There is obviously that little twitch as a reaction to that feeling when you ate those kids with their slabs and their tickety-tocks and the light sticks and whatnot. But you're very much in control of the situation internally, at least. But what about externally? How do you react to all of this?
There is a part of me that wants very much to pounce over that fence and tear that gun out of his hand.
Hmm.
I'm trying to decide how rational or cunning of a decision that would be.
Well, people do things irrationally sometimes. And there's a part of me that
Yeah.
thinks, I'm not wanting to force your hand or anything, but there's a part of me that thinks, with your character and how they're still learning and just acting on impulse, it might be in their nature to do that to protect those around them. But if that doesn't make sense to you, by all means, let me know what you want to do.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shift.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
Well, in this instance,
That escalated quickly.
go ahead. Oh, that escalated
Sorry,
quickly,
just-
right? So, yeah. So, how this is going to work, given that you said that you're mad, and this would be like a close thing to combat, you can spend a point of temporary rage to shift into a form of your choosing. I believe it's... what is it? Changing forms. You may spend a rage point instantly to any form you desire without having to roll. Okay, so what form are you changing into?
I think without realizing how big of a deal this might be, I'm just gonna immediately go to the war form.
Okay, awesome sauce.
Oh,
So instantly, Kenzie, I'm going to do this on the perspective of Kenzie because I think this is the one that will set things up rather nicely. Kenzie, you've seen individuals around you just turn into Garou. You've seen your dad, you saw your mum, not anymore. You see other members of the Sept around you do this numerous of times. And yeah, this happens very fucking quickly. There is a difference between not forcing, but like, when you have time and you're not being dictated by the influence of rage, it's pretty fast. So rather than the slow, like, Hollywood-esque sort of like the things morphing and cracking in slow motion almost, and you can, I guess, revel in the sounds of all of that happening, that just happens pretty darn quickly. Just snap, crackle and pop, clothes burst off, and now is this good 7-ish foot tall hunk of grey and brown that stands before you. You're wanting to leap over the fence and, like, what, take the gun from them? Or what's the intention here? Or is it just to get over the fence at this time?
The intention is indeed to get over the fence, and I believe my specific wording it was tear the gun out of their hands.
Awesome sauce. Can I have you roll for me a Dex and Brawl for all of that? And obviously apply the modifiers for your Krynos form, which I don't have on that person. So yes.
So the reason I was asking about the windows, I wanted to try to distract them by throwing something at it and breaking it. Would I be able to give Ezra a bit of time if I did this?
I think so, although I think this guy is going to be well occupied with this with everything that's going on. But you can absolutely like take a rock or whatever and like throw it at a window as well. I'm not going to stop you from doing that for sure, if that's what you would like to do.
That's fine.
Okay, cool. So Ezra, what did you get?
Yes, so that is going to be Dex plus Brawl. So
Okay. Remembering to apply all the modifiers of your form, which is like on one of the character sheets. I don't have that portion on me. With you, Nadia, yes. I would like you to make... Well, I'm going to say there's going to be something around like a bottle or something. You can just break the window. Roll for me a Dex and Melee.
Shit, okay. That could be Melee. Alright, here we go. Alright, what's the difficulty?
Depends. How good are you at throwing? Because I heard a little "oh shit" under your breath, so I think this isn't the ideal sort of roll for you.
I would say that I don't go around throwing stuff to hurt people. I've thrown a lot of stuff to distract people to get around them.
Okay, so that makes sense given what you do for a living. Yeah, I'll do this at standard difficulty for you. This is everyday stuff for you.
Well, that's 3 successes of my 3 dice.
And that is a lovely grin from our Krynos. What did you get?
I got, let's see here, 1, 2, 3. What's the difficulty?
Oh, 6 standard difficulty. Yeah.
Okay, then 1, 2, 3, 4 successes. 3 of them 10s.
Okay. Would you... Okay, I would say with your wording, your specialty of going for the throat would apply. So if you want to
Okay.
re-roll those 10s, because that means they now explode.
Oh my god.
Okay, and that is a 9, an 8, and an 8, so 3 more successes.
Right, so if I've
Holy
done the math correct, that
fucking-
is 7 successes. Okay, right, so tell me how exactly you send this guy to destination fucked.
So,
Let's fucking go.
as skin gives way to fur and like nail to claw, to say I hop over the fence is a bit of an understatement. It's what's the closest comparison? If it's like when you see like a pipe just about to burst, and like the fragments just kind of like shooting off in a specific direction. Like less like it's like specifically going there of its own desire, more just like it's being compelled and like pulled a certain direction. That is very much what happens, except not a pipe. It's a big fuck off werewolf, going straight for this guy's hands.
Yeah.
And I assume I just kind of initially my intent was just kind of pull the gun out of their hands, but I think I might just be full on pulling their hands off.
Oh, I don't think we're
my
stopping. I
fucking-
don't think we're stopping at their hands. We're stopping at their arms, because you charge through, as you say. He does not fucking do anything. He is just stuck, frozen. He doesn't even have time to scream before those arms disappear. Now, obviously, the arms have come off, and now he's screaming a bit more. And I imagine from the perspective of Nadia, who's I imagine like on the side of the wall, you've done the thing throwing them over, and there is just this blood that just like spurts out one end. Poor old Kenzie here is once again being splattered by the internal organs of somebody.
Yeah.
Fucking bread.
Uh,
I'm sorry.
That's fine. It was perfectly timed. Kenzie, what are you doing throughout all of this? Because I sort of left you there because that's just how quickly all of this has happened. The aftermath of this, you just seen Nadia at the same time throwing a thing through a window, and now you see this guy who's just lost his arms.
Kenzie just curses under their breath, going, "Alright, guess we're fucking escalating like always." And I'm gonna spend a rage point to not go into Krenos, but I'm gonna shift instantly to Glarbro.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Cool. What? Okay. What now? I wasn't expecting. That's why I was starting. So, what's the plan?
They're gonna hop over the fence and see if they can also just get the screaming to quiet down as quickly as possible.
There's no fence there now. That fence is fucked. Like the guy's arms, like that fence is fucked. Like it's just it's like fragments of fence there, so you can walk on right through, no issue whatsoever.
Yeah. Current mission to make this guy shut up by doing the one thing that all werewolves are good at. That's just crushing the head, just making it just stop, basically. Just get it to stop as quickly as possible.
Okay, now, for those who are unaware, Glabro is one of the 5 forms that the Garou can shift into, Glabro being the midway point between Homid, human, or Krynos, the big war form that is the werewolf. So if you think like early black and white werewolf forms like the Wolfman, it kind of looks like that, although it's not really a man here, it's like a child. What does that look like with you?
Well, Kenzie now grows to 5'11", around 220 pounds, like a lot more bulked up, a little bit more muscular, but not as much as like everybody else, because again, a child. But their skin retains that very stark white color, same with their hair, and finally, now the jacket and the clothing they have on is just fits just right now. It actually fits them as they're in their Glarbro form.
Awesome. And with that specific height and measurement, I will just say that's exactly what I am both ways. So
I just did the measurements like it said on the things like, oh, double the weight, add a couple inches to the height. Gotcha.
yeah, I love that. Cool. You are now a fully fledged 30-year-old mask presenting. I fucking love this game. So you're squeezing this security guard's head right to get him to shut up?
Yeah, just shut up quickly, shut up.
Okay. You're not intending to kill him, though, are you?
I just want to apply enough pressure. It's like, okay, the blood leaving him quickly out of his arms just flows out of his head. So it's like, oh, hopefully he just shuts up and falls unconscious.
Okay, cool. As I'm going to treat this like a grapple roll, can I have you roll for me strength and brawl?
I can't give you that. That is going to be 9 dice to roll. What difficulty? Standard?
No, 4.
Okay. That's 8 successes!
Slash that one, that guy.
Okay, so this is what happens. Perhaps in the urgency and the panic of, like, trying to contain the situation as the best that you can. And maybe perhaps not as experienced in the Glabro form, and against all rush, you're not really aware of your own strength just yet. You hear a very unpleasant as your claws go through this person's head and the jaw. You feel bone shard, a bit of brain on the tops of your fingers. You feel his tongue on the bottom of his mouth, and it's just sort of... If he wasn't going to die quickly, you've just done the job. Meanwhile, not that far away, with our 2 lady pals who were doing so well being subtle at the front of the queue, they have just gone in, I'd say, with all this that's happening. Actually, just going to roll something real quick. Okay. You're now in the club. You're making your way downstairs. It smells musty. Sort of that unwashed man sort of smell. The bodies and sweat is just a bit unpleasant. The music is very pounding, like in your face techno sort of thing. The lights are strobing and flashing. There are mostly men about on the dance floor. There are scantily clad and naked women in poles and whatnot doing whatnot about there. There's an upstairs to this place as well that you see that there are different doors that lead to, well, you can probably put 2 and 2 together. There's a bar on the left hand side where people are getting drinks. There are women waitresses. The amount of clothing that they're wearing is varying from one group to another. There's not much respect for the staff, shall we say, around here. But you also notice, because on the top floor there's very clearly one room that looks like that is an office.
I'll kind of glance over, just glance around the room, make sure and check that no one's really keeping an eye on us, if anything. Because we drew a lot of attention out front, but now I want to shake as much of that attention as I can.
Sure, give me a perception and investigation roll, please.
Difficulty 6.
Do you have any specialties to your thing that would aid you in this?
I do not.
Okay, then I'll say this is difficulty 7, just because of the mass volume of bodies that are here.
Okay. Oh, I got super lucky. That would have been 4 successes, but I rolled a 1, so that's a 3. 3 successes.
3 successes, okay. So you're looking around, it's where you're taking a lot of this scene, just like, what a horrible place that this is. But you do notice, like, there's a couple of, like, the security guards, whatever, who are not really doing their job properly with the amount that's happening to the other staff here. You come in, and they both, like, give you a look. They're not wearing sunglasses, like the guy outside was. They give you a little look, just because you seem a bit out of place here. But they don't pay you much mind, but they have their tabs on you now. And Olivia, who's still got her arms round you, is like, what a fucking horrible place.
It smells like unwashed gooch in here.
Oh, I needed to hear that. Yeah. She goes her mouth to say something, but then stops herself and just... Alright, Gal Pal, what's the plan here? You seem to be the brains of the operation.
I'll look at her and go, "You see that office door right over there?" And I'll gesture with my head.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might be a good place to start. At least figure out the layout, if not, find any relevant information.
Sounds like a good idea to me. So you wanting to head up, or you're going to start looking around down here? And what do you want me to do? This is, after all, your event. Wink, wink.
Well, you seem to be pretty adept at causing a scene. Could you draw their attention?
What Chucklefuck McGee over there?
I'll glance over at them and then I'll look at her and go, "What sort of drama do you think would draw their attention?"
I have an idea. You do whatever it is that you need to do. I'll make sure that they don't follow you. Give her a little wink. And she walks over.
I'll actually... before she walks out, I'll even be so bold and just, like, plant a kiss on her cheek, like, good luck. But also just kind of bringing the facade up a bit more, elevating it.
Mm-hmm. She stops for a moment and, like, looks back at you, smiles, and then goes over towards the bar and orders a drink. You see her bend over in a very over-the-top manner, just pushing out her rear. So while she's making the step of making a scene, where is it that you're heading?
I am making an indirect, totally plausible beeline towards the office.
Okay, cool. Can I have you roll for me a dex and a stealth roll, please?
Dex stealth. You got it. Is this still Div 7?
No, this will be Dig 6, because now the crowd and whatnot and what's about to happen is in your favour. Fucking gremlin ass laugh.
God damn. I wish I had a specialty here, because it's 4 successes including a 10.
Okay, right, so that's fun. So, I'll say up front that the dude botched. Literally every dice he rolled was a 1, which is fun. Compared that to Olivia, who rolled mostly 9s. So, his attention is solely on her. Like God has dropped one of his angels into this cesspit. And he goes over and then she turns around and is like, "Oh no, I'm so sorry." She spilled a drink, like patting him down with a handkerchief sort of thing, being really over the top, like cheesy, flirty sort of thing, pressing up against him and just taking up the full attention. And you can see every so often she's giving a glance over to you, like you are gone with the wind, no one else is paying you any attention. You've got this little turn around on a little stare sort of thing. This door has got a little circular window, and there's a few people up here, like VIP sort of things. You see, like there's somebody who's one of the members of staff, like guiding someone in behind closed doors sort of thing. And you're peering through this little window. It's a small little space. You see that there is this guy with a suit jacket, a white shirt with this collar that's taken up at most of the lapels here. This big old fluffy blondie hair, sort of like typing away. Skinny, triangular, angular face sort of thing. You see that he's typing away at a laptop, and then all of a sudden you see the window that's behind him suddenly breaks. He then turns around. You see his mouth form, like, what the fuck? And he gets up to look to where that came from. Which moves us back down to the scene with Nadia, who's just broke that window. Without this information in mind, you've now broken this window. What's the next natural thing that you're going to do?
I love seeing her silent panic.
Shit. Is there a manhole nearby or something?
Probably. There's probably other things you could hide behind as well, like big wheelie, not like skip bin sort of things as well. Or car or something.
Ezra, get your ass over here. Bring the body.
I will say, from the way that I'm imagining this, there's the wall with the window that you throw it over, and they're on the side, so he is unable to see what's going on. I will say, with the speed in which everything has happened, because, you know, Garou and Glab or whatnot, unless they make any more noise, they won't hear what is going on. They'll just see what they're looking out of the window, which will be you.
Fun.
Oh shit. So, do I see the guy like step into the window?
If you're going to wait long enough, you will eventually see him lean over the window, yeah.
Alright, well, I think, honestly, she's running over. She's like, oh, is she like stepping around all the gore and just like. She looks like she wants to throw up. Just, oh god,
Let's see. Just
I've never seen someone
sighs
die
a bit.
before.
Can I have you roll your stamina for me, please? Difficulty 8.
Okay, alright. Sure. Alright, oh no.
Oh no.
That is 1 success with a 10.
You throw up a bit in your mouth. It's a really unpleasant smell. I mean, there's a part of you that wants to sink in and eat that because you are sort of part of Wolf and whatnot, but you know, all sorts of societies telling you no. Garou society says no, you can't eat people. Human society says you can't eat people. God, probably, if you believe him, says no, you shouldn't fucking eat that. But yeah, so what is... Okay, so you're trying to now hide, I guess?
Yeah, she's very much trying to direct them. She's like, just wait, we like get away from the window, because that was supposed to be a distraction, and now distraction not needed.
Okay, well, with the panicking and fluster, I say that the guy does lean forward, and this person who I described to, he looks one way, and they said, "Oh, ma chérie, you won't happen to know who done this awful thing to my building?"
Oh gosh.
Oh, wait. Now that Kenzie's in Glarbro, is their voice any different than when they were in Hobbit form?
I would say it's a bit more of a guttural, like, because of the shape of your jaw, whatever, it's a bit more difficult to speak. I believe there's actually, like, a thing to do with, like, social roles in this instance, where that is now being dropped.
You know what? Fuck it. I have an idea that I sound like a little bit different, maybe a little bit more grown up. Kenzie's gonna clear up her going, fucking brat!
I love that. Are you going to... I'm presuming that you're going to appear around the corner and make yourself known?
Nah, just... They won't do that because obviously Glarbro, while it is still humanoid, it still does look weird. So they'll just talk, not let themselves be seen. Just saying it was a brat that did that.
So, are you impersonating Nadia's dad, or you're trying to sound like a grunt, or what's the intention, just so I know what I'm going to ask you to do next?
I'm trying to impersonate the man that pointed the gun at me and Ezra.
Okay. Can I have you roll for me manipulation and subterfuge?
I can.
That doesn't sound like a good roll for you with that panicked laughter.
No, that is... I do get one less dot in subterfuge, but it's still going to be 4 dice with a specialty of persuasive, if that's allowed.
Oh yeah, I'd say that counts, yeah.
Okay, let's see how this fucking goes. What difficulty?
You know what? Because I think it'll be quite funny to see how this goes. I'm going to say this is a standard difficulty, as I kind of emulate that sort of, like, dark nature of the dude.
That's 4 successes with a 10. I'm going to re-roll that.
You do that, my dude.
Oh, that is 5 successes!
Which is rather fortunate, because this individual here rolled 4, and that beats him by 1, so congratulations. He said, oh, and then this guy just spits something else in French, like, Have you dealt with it?
Yeah, dealt with it. Kid's fucking gone.
And he starts muttering away. He leans back in. He eyes you up a bit more, Nadia, with a bit of a creepy grin, and then just like closes. Well, he can't really close it now because you put a fin in it. And he turns around. And he sits back at his desk, sort of thing. He's just, of course, from the perspective of Dolly, you can't hear what's going on, but whatever has happened here is like, you might be able to imply that this was the distraction that they had in mind. Unable to hear the monstrosity, the war crime that has happened literally a few feet and down and to the left of you.
Nadia just checks her phone, looks at the time. I'm gonna have to erase that footage.
It's gonna be fine. Just, Ezra, help me fucking track this thing.
Yeah,
That Stewart, great, will ya?
I will say, how intact is the body?
Other than the departure of his arms and the quote-unquote puncture marks in his head, fairly intact.
Okay.
I mean, there might be some like bones broken, like, you know, it's not like I've eaten a kid in the conservation park bad.
Yeah, it's more like it's more like a fucked up Mr. Potato Head, I guess.
Okay, well, if possible, I'm going to pick up what is left of this guard and just see if I can't toss him onto the roof where he'll be out of sight and out of mind.
I imagine this to be quite a tall. I imagine this to be quite the tall building, but I find that fucking hilarious. So we're just going to shrink the building down a bit more, and you're going to do that with a strength and what would be tossing a person on a roof roll? I'm going to say that is strength and athletics, honestly.
Okay.
So yeah, do that with the modifiers. Standard difficulty, you are in Krynos form. This is just essentially, literally dead weight. This isn't too difficult for you.
Okay, here we go.
I am praying right now, Ezra, please.
Strength.
Storing the leftovers for later.
Okay, so I will ask, will my specialty of being husky apply here?
Yeah. I think so.
What?
This is a detail I will file away for later.
Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes, 2 of which are 10s, so I'm going to re-roll those.
Fuck me.
Where to God, let's all put the success of this session.
Okay, and that is 1 more success, so 6 successes total.
Just for context for the viewers at home, I gave a little prep talk to my players beforehand, like embracing the chaos of not being in control. This was not exactly what I had in mind. Yeah, effortlessly fucking like pick him up, yeet, fling him up, more whatever's left comes off, like just splatting on the ground, just splat. It's very unpleasant. Maybe like part of the body is like hanged over a little bit, but I don't think anybody is going to be finding that anytime soon unless a helicopter or something flies over, by which point that's just going to be like a weird creepypasta for those who know who it is. But yeah, that is one way of eliminating the evidence of a crime scene.
I make sure to toss the arms up there as well.
I'm not going to make you roll for that. I mean, with the 7 successes, yeah, just like.
Yeah. As they see this, Kenzie just goes, I guess that fucking works too. Let's get inside this building right now, then.
So, before we go back to Dolly inside, what does everybody do? I will say that Nadia, you are now we have shrunk the building down a bit. You definitely hear the thud of the body hitting the roof. I cannot believe those words just come out of my mouth. Not quite the angle to see it, but you hear it, and you can probably like put 2 and 2 together and make 4.
technically a solution. Roll with it. Roll with it. It's fine. It's fine. It's just a murder.
You sound pretty pissed off there.
He's exasperated. Just like we just had to sneak in. We didn't. We just had to get past him. She's broken into so many places before. She never had to do something like this.
Yeah, I imagine in the circumstances, however, that the human feeling of exasperation isn't going to be able to be contained as much of how, from your perspective, how disastrously things have gone wrong. Can I have you roll for me? Well, make a rage check for me.
Oh
Right,
no!
how does that?
Okay,
exactly?
you said when you made a rage, when I made you roll the d10 to see how many temporary points of rage you had, you said you had 9, yes?
Yeah.
You're going to roll those 9 d10 for me.
Oh no. Okay.
Because the way that rage check works is that you roll the higher of your rage pools.
Well, it's definitely a lot higher than 2.
Oh
Okay.
boy. I'm so fucked later.
No!
Okay, difficulty is, you say...
Is 7. So you have that working in your favour, potentially.
Okay.
I am.
Oh, wow. Okay, that is 5 successes.
Oh no! Fuck
No, wait.
me!
No, wait. 4. Sorry, that's a 1, not a 7.
Oh!
Okay, so
Thank God! Oh,
4
thank God!
successes. Okay. Next question. Your permanent gnosis is higher than your permanent rage. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. So, the way that this is going to play out now... Okay. So, exasperation with you very quickly turns into, like, how fucking dare they just, like, go into this... Like, you're very much someone who plans things together, like, you work best on your own, you've got, like, a contact here or there, like, it all works very nicely together, but you're dealing with a literal wolf and a child, and they just go and tear asunder. Like, you're pissed off. You are angry. You are entering a frenzy. A particular type of frenzy known as a berserk frenzy. Now, how the way that this typically works is that you would then cause destruction on the living things around you. But as your gnosis is higher than your rage, the idea is that you have the awareness of only attacking those that are your foes. But the downside to that is your foes aren't here, in that the guard's body is up on the wall. So, because I'm not feeling this spiteful and having you chase that body up there, I think this is going to manifest itself as like you just trashing up the immediate area that's around you. So if there's a car, yoink, that's now flipped. That manhole cover you're looking for, picked up, yeeted through a fucking building. Well, not through a building, you know, thing, boing, hits off the building, whatever. The two of you, I'm presuming, are still in your respective forms. You turn round and see this sort of, well, again, a Krynos werewolf just like tossing things around at the biggest fucking tantrum you've experienced. And this is coming from the Krynos-born who literally had violent tantrums like this.
Yeah, Kenzie's like, oh God, I fucking know this. My circus, my monkeys. My circus, my monkeys. And tries to go over. It's like, Nadia, fucking look at me, Nadia. Fucking breathe, fucking breathe.
Yeah, they ain't fucking listening to you. So we're just going to move very quickly back to the scene that's inside. I will say, just because of how close you are to the door, Dolly, you can hear like little muffler like crashing and bangs and whatnot. The guy who's in the office is like, he turns to look and just, he doesn't do anything. This is just New York life, like just another gang fight or whatever. He's just whatever. He doesn't seem to be caring much about what's going on over there. Probably because, not that you're aware of this, the establishment that it's just brats fucking about. So, yeah. So, I presume that you are now just going to try and enter this little office.
Yeah, I'll try the door first. Like, subtly, just like seeing, like, slowly turning the knob, seeing if it'll click or not. Like, if it's unlocked.
It's unlocked.
But not enough to make a lot. Okay. Yeah, I'll head in and close the door behind me.
The guy looks up at you. He's at first he's surprised because he doesn't recognise you. He then wheels away from his chair a little bit, sits back with his fingers arched together, and he gives you a dirty smile. A smile that you have seen many times before in your workplace here. Just growing up as a femme-presenting person, just being observed for the bit of fuckable meat that he perceives you to be. And he will just say, hello there. How can I help you tonight?
I'm going to strut up to the desk, circle around it, and get up in his personal space. Not in like a threatening way, but in like a, you know, using my womanly charms as a weapon. And I'll lean up against the desk and I'll go, maybe you could help me out with something.
Well, I am a businessman at heart, and, you know, if you help me, and he looks down at your weapons, as it were, perhaps I can help
I'm
you with
not
something.
armed at all. I'm not armed.
Oh, no, when I mean weapons, I mean he's looking at your tits.
Oh, I'm dumb. Yeah, in that case, she'll kind of cross her arms to accentuate them and make them pop out even more. And then she'll give him a smile and go, would you happen to be in the business of picking up people against their will?
He leans away from you, but he still smiles, just... Oh, I see what this is, my chérie. Oh, who was it that sent you? Was it Thomas? Was it Helene? Please, entertain me. Who is it that sent you to interfere with my perfectly honest and respectable business?
Who said I'm here to interfere?
Oh.
And I'll lean forward and give him a smile and go, I'm here representing myself. You can call me Dahlia.
Dahlia? What a beautiful name. Like the stars. Each one unique and magnificent. That brings up another question, then. How did you hear about me? Exactly.
Do you really want to know?
I really do. I prefer honesty and transparency in this business where I am a respectable young man.
Well, I should probably warn you that a black van traveling through the streets at night is a bit conspicuous on camera.
Oh, please. The police know about that. They cannot do anything about that.
Oh, no, I'm not worried about the police knowing about that. But they're not exactly known for securing the avenues of getting that information.
Oh, I assure you that whoever will find it, I have people that will be able to remove them. Which makes it all the more interesting that you seem to have picked up on this.
I have my sources, but she's gonna lean in even more, laying it on thick and going, maybe we can help each other out a bit.
The floor is yours, my chérie.
See, I don't want to interfere too much with your business, but unfortunately, a small handful of people you picked up belong to my organization, and we kind of need them back, but I'm willing to work with you, strike a deal.
Interesting. What are you prepared to sacrifice to get what you want?
That's depending on me. This is a negotiation, after all.
True. But these individuals are very important to myself and my clientele. There's a lot of money involved here. And not wanting to disrespect, you do not look like that you've been carrying around a lot of money on your person.
Well, money talks, especially conspicuous consumption shows in money.
I'm listening. He leans forward again. His hands the whole way time has been arched.
Before we make any kind of deal, though, I do need to ensure that they are still in one piece.
I can assure you that they are in one piece, very well kept, looked after. Be difficult for anyone to break in and get them.
I will reach out with my hand and brush my fingers against his cheek and pinch my thumb and my finger underneath his chin and have him look up at me proper. And I'll smile and go, yeah, but can't you help a girl out? Can I go down and make sure? It's just little old me here.
As you're pinching his cheek, you notice that his face is very cold.
I am going to be a very good girl in that metagame here.
Okay, so you go and investigate and, I don't know, they just magically go missing. What were you willing to do for me in return? What are you prepared to sacrifice?
Let's just say I have some contacts. I could perform a couple of jobs for you in exchange. Perhaps replace those missing goods with something equivalent.
That seems fair enough. He sort of
What's your
spins
name,
round
my
on his chin. Sorry?
What's your name, my dear?
My name. It is Francois Dahlia.
Francois. I'll let go of his chin and give him a really, really flirtatious smile and go, it's a pleasure to meet you, my dear.
Oh, trust me, the pleasure is all mine. And just to know that you are serious, you curious individual. He leans over to his desk and he pulls out just a card with his number on it. Flips it one side and he points a pen on it. So you don't get lost in the night. So I can get in touch with you.
I will take that and tuck the business card directly into my bra. Not even being subtle about it.
I presume you give him his number as well?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What a fascinating little fiend that you are. But tell me, what exactly is that you represent?
Forgive me if I'm a bit guarded. It's a bit of a trade secret, if you will.
So mysterious. I'd usually have my back up about this, but you seem to be a very interesting specimen. So, would it make you feel more at ease, more comfortable round me if I introduce myself properly first?
Be my guest.
Very well. He stands up. He's about your height. You can see a bit more of his skinniness. The suit's obviously tailor-made to him. My name is Francois, as I said. And you're either very young or very smart in how you're presenting yourself, assuming that we are of the same sort of blood. I am a Setite, descendant of the true vampiric legacy. Not that I'm sure I need to educate you on that.
No need. Your protection beseems you.
Curious. Now, my Sherry, and he gets towards you and just sort of puts his hands round your waist. Your turn.
She's got mad heebie-jeebies when he actually lays her hands on her. I'm not gonna lie. It would take a lot of self-control for her to not lose it right there.
Explore that emotion a little bit more for me.
Uh, she was fine when she was in control of the situation, but a man putting her hands on her, especially with her history growing up in a rural area, not going to get too into detail, but you can kind of put two and two together. Sometimes she got unwanted advances that were not welcome.
Okay. I won't have you do anything for now, as that's sort of like there as the little underlying feeling, but we'll see how this progresses, and then I may make you do things later on. So, he's made you feel uncomfortable, taking advantage of the opportunity presented before him, asking you, your turn.
Before I get into it, what do you make of me? Be honest.
Well, clearly I am the older of the two here, as you're able to exhibit some human warmth. Warmth I'm not used to feeling these days, these nights. Oh, habits and all. A curious fascination. I just want to learn, study you, observe you.
Well, let's just say I live up to my name in many particular ways.
How so?
I'll, kind of bite my lip and go, later, we have business to discuss first.
Oh, you wicked tease.
Mm.
He lets go with a sense of reluctancy. He sits on the end of his table, man spreading. So we understand that we're on the same plane. You will obtain your associates, and in return, at a time of my discretion, I will have my people come and find you.
Absolutely.
And just to make life that little bit easier for me, as I'm going to be giving you where you can find your people, where can I find you?
Let's just say, you know that little coffee shop not far from here?
Oh yes. Quaint little place.
Around there should suffice. Your
That is
people will
fine.
know.
Yes. Yes, they will. Well then. He then pulls out a bit of paper and he writes it down. If anybody asks, they've gone missing. Social justice warriors or whatnot. This isn't alien behaviour down there. As he says that, I presume you're looking at the address. You don't know the exact coordinates, but you recognise bits of it. It's New York Harbour, which is like right at the bottom of the city. So more walking involved. He's also written an X and a 7 next to it, which probably indicates like the particular crate or whatever.
Are you really fine with me just going and looking on my own, or would you like to come with me?
Alas, I have many meetings tonight, many people to see, but I would love to. Perhaps, unless business-orientated conversations, we can take a stroll through the night. Mysterious Dahlia.
is he in character actually struggling to say my name?
He's struggling to say your name.
I think it'd be funny. Yeah, she'll, once again, her hands will fleetingly touch his face a little bit, and then she'll smile and go, I'll leave it up to you and how hungry you're feeling right now. And she'll get up and start sauntering out of the office.
Do you look behind you at all, or are you just out of there?
I might steal a glance to get a grasp of his expression.
He is smirking like you are the love of his life, still standing there on the desk, like man-spreading sort of thing, like that's supposed to turn you on. It obviously doesn't. But yeah, that's the last thing that you see of him as you saunter off outside. Outside of the office, that is. Olivia is, well, you see it. She's like at the top of the stairs waiting for you. She has her 2 drinks, one in each hand. Offers you one. So, how did it go?
I'll take the drink and kind of swirl it around. I'm trying to determine if there's alcohol in it.
Yeah, it's this wine.
I'll just hang on to it and go. Got an address. Got a lead. Got a lot of information, too.
Good. She peers round the side of you. You okay?
Let's have this discussion without any prying ears, shall we?
Yeah, of course. It's a good idea, that. Sorry. Always eager to talk, I am. After you.
Yeah, I'm gonna saunter over to the bathroom and make sure the coast is clear while she follows me in.
Okay. And I think we will put a little pause in this conversation and pick up next time, where our cast of characters will work out what to do with the chaos that's happening directly behind the establishment, and the girlies have a chat in the toilet. So yeah, that's session number 2 of Wealthy Pockets Revised Edition. I shan't be handing out experience points just yet. That will come at the end of whenever they succeed at the Rite of Passage. Yeah, wowzers, that was an interesting ride, and I've got no idea how things are going to carry on from here. If you, the good people of YouTube, have been enjoying things so far, don't forget to do all that fun YouTube stuff of liking, subscribing, and sharing this to all your friends, your found family, and the rest of your set to check out this really unique experience of Wealthy Apocalypse, to have some more, werewolf stuff out there, because I think that's terribly lacking. And I will see you on the next upload, wherever and whenever that may well be for you. And until next time, farewell.